when I first saw him, and that was about 2002, he was just a research assistant to the governor of the central bank, and in faraway London. This young man delivered a paper at an international conference of giants from the city of London, the financial world, and some very powerful people of government. And immediately he finished his address, he was going to sit down, but there was something in his statement and about him. I was president of Ghana then. In fact, till then I hadn't even spoken with him ever before. But I sent somebody, I think one of the officers with me, go and call me that young man. He came, I congratulated him, and I don't know what came in me. Prophetically, I told him, carry on like that, and you'll go far.
Kufuor, former president of the members of the Council Party elections, let me use this opportunity to serve my vision and policy problem. Between 2017 and 2019, all the key economic indicators, such as economic growth, agricultural growth, industry growth, interest rates, the fiscal deficit, exchange rate depreciation, and the trade balance were all moving in the right direction. However, between 2020 and 2022, we experienced severe challenges triggered by the pandemic, which brought the world and our country to a thundering halt. We may be tired of hearing it, but there is no avoiding the fact that the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war resulted in the greatest economic depression in the world since the 1930s, with most countries recording negative GDP growth. The severity, especially of the pandemic, was captured in the words of the IMF managing director, then asked, and I quote, "This crisis like no other. This is a crisis like no other. Pandemics don't respect borders. Neither do the economic shocks they cause. The outlook is dire. We expect global economic activity to decline to a scale we have not seen since the Great Depression." End quote. Supply chain disruptions and rising price of oil resulted in major increases in the prices of fuel, freight, and food across the globe. I believe it is worth pointing out that in addition to the external factors, there were two major items of expenditure that are critical to understanding the difficult economic situation we have faced. And these are the banking sector cleanup and the energy sector excess capacity payments that we inherited. Expenditure on these three items, including the COVID-19 expenditure, cumulatively amounted to 50.1 billion Ghana cedis, and this was financed from borrowing. Ladies and gentlemen, the fiscal deficit, which was reduced from 8.4% to 4.1% in 2019, increased to 10.8% in 2020 as a result of revenue declines in the midst of increased expenditures during COVID. In addition, our debt became unsustainable. Along with many emerging economies, Ghana lost access to international capital market financing. This resulted in a balance of payments crisis, as Ghana had to continue to honor its debt obligations, energy payments, and the import bill. We faced a serious global and domestic economic crisis. There were many who predicted that we were going to end up like the situation in Sri Lanka, with fuel shortages, food shortages, inability to pay workers, doomsday, anarchy, and chaos. Indeed, Ghanaians were hit hard by rising food prices, increased exchange rate depreciation, and rising fuel prices and rising transportation fares. Bond holders also saw a sharp decline in their net worth following the painful debt restructuring program. We faced very challenging times, but with calm leadership and the support and understanding of the good people of Ghana, we have weathered the storm. The government had to seek IMF support to stabilize our economy and restore fiscal and debt sustainability over 3 years. I must at this stage salute and give particular recognition to the Bank of Ghana, which has come under unfair criticism for taking the necessary measures which help pull the economy back from the brink. The Bank of Ghana provided needed financing to the government at that critical moment.
See toilets, Amamu. You see toilets. In all, you see 8-unit toilets, 4 8-unit toilets, 32 toilets in all.
They take your IC. This government, they put delivery trackers, also toilet. Toilet be district assembly them work. Why national government, they tell people waiting you do, then toilet to be district assembly. That one we know the counter.
Look at the economic management team. It is quite clearly a fantastic team. Professor Jambafo, Dr. Akotose, Dr. Afriye Akoto, Honorable Alan Chiramanting, Boachi Ejaku, Ken Oforiata, Senior Minister Yao Osafo Mafu. What a solid team. In fact, can anyone remember the NDC economic management team? I'm sure they themselves cannot remember who their economic management team was. Kukrudu, fellow Kukrudites, we were elected to fix the problems, and I'm glad to report that we are fixing the problems and we are putting in place the policies that will drive the economic transformation of this country. It is very clear that the economy is beginning to respond to the policies of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo.
And the fuel price is a cost.
Yeah, so
Obibeka, hypocrisy, dishonesty, what are you doing for political capital? The fuel price wars. Oh
yes, but I think
that... Are you also incompetent, uncaring, unfeeling? Have you also thrown all reasonable feelings to the dogs?
Kwame,
yes, sir.
I stand by those statements, those words, in the first place. But I think that let's put this in context, Wati.
Because
we had a government that put us through 4 years of doom-song. That is very, very difficult for businesses, for individuals, for the productivity of the nation as a whole. Yeda sunsumo, 4 years. Between 2016 or 2017 and 2019, average increases of 13.5%. So we have increased at about half, more than less than half what they have done, what they did. So it's a complete difference. But not only did we increase fuel prices, that is fine, but we had brought at a much lower rate. In addition to that, we reduced electricity prices. We restored teacher training allowance. We restored nursing training allowance. We changed that. We paid the teachers arrears from the 2 to 3 months one. We cancelled that policy. We've restored the NHIS back from the cash and carry state that it was in. We brought NAPCO to cushion graduate unemployment. So if you take it in context, the management of the economy generally and the provision to cushion people from hardships allowed the country to bear this increase in the fuel price, the lower increase in the fuel price, much better. Of course, we are talking about a 13.5 increase on average by us, but a much...
John Mahama says he has a new idea. And what is the new idea? He says he wants a 24-hour economy. 24-hour economy. He doesn't even understand that policy. Today in Ghana, our hospitals work 24 hours. Our electricity company works 24 hours. Our water company works 24 hours. Our phone companies work 24 hours. Many job bars work 24 hours. Isn't it? Today, because of digitalization, the banks, you can transfer money 24 hours. You can receive money 24 hours. Isn't it? So he doesn't understand his own policy. It does not make sense. And I want you to vote in 2024 for Dr. will bring a new vision.
24 hours. You can buy electricity 24 hours. But because of digitalization, you can transfer money for 24 hours. You can receive money for 24 hours. There are many chop bars that are open for 24 hours.
The question that you have to ask is, how can global phenomena skip Cote d'Ivoire and all the surrounding countries and only attack Ghana? How? How does it happen?
We have faced the problem of fake birth certificates and the bureaucracy and corruption at the birth registry. So what we have done is to digitalize the processes at the birth and link their systems with the Ghana Health Service.
MPP, Yambai, Nanado Dankwa Kufuado, Yabai, Yedi Impuntu Bebre, Aba Ghana Mine, Obia Betutels, Ohane Edunabaku, 111 hospitals are YABC. Sajima Yeno, Ebinsi da Wagana ha.
Where I want to see us go in the next few years is to move public transport completely from a dependence on petrol and diesel to fully electric vehicles. That is really where Ghana ought to go.
Economic management team, your chairman, Dr. Baumia. Now, only for committee now we say, oh, it's less food diet. Oh, it's a food diet. Oh, man, who and put a blow, oh, man, what you know, or yen and go turn. What's the man? Obey the chairman of economic management team. I don't know, penny power, me say. me na me nye kasamafo ema Ghana si kasam. It's ono ni na se na me su aduma no. Ono na church me aduma no. Ono na so mampeni adan ko Akufo-Addo. Okita ni se mi na sia. Wa friend say, Mahmoud, I want to kasam no at say. Ono na chichi si kasam no my economic management ni na e bi etre. Ono ene openi ani chima bo wa. Nancy ni lebo aba be mu ni na yesuesua e wo ni na ase. Obi bi o we bi amesra so ba sore. Na ukra flago, ukra handkerchief o.
I would want all of us here to, and on behalf of my colleagues, say a very big thank you to the type of leadership the EMT has enjoyed from Dr. Bawumia. A chairman who is so involved in the work of he works like a member, like a secretary, is sterling quality, professionally excellent.
In Kufuor's time, one of the people who advised and helped him develop a strong CD was my running mate, Mahamudu Bawumia. Then he was deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana. It's one of the reasons I brought him to come and join me, that we will work on the CD and create again a strong CD that will be able to allow us to develop our economy and allow our traders and our to be able to develop.
That we make sure that happens. We've put in place a very first-class economic management team. I would even say world-class, because the Minister of Finance, the very known Wall Street banker, investment banker, really high achiever, the former Minister of Finance, who is deputy chair, vice chair of the economic management team, Yao Osafo-Maafo, he was voted at one time the best finance minister in Africa by the World Economic Forum, and many others. They're just a solid, capable group of individuals who have come together to manage the team. And we meet every week without fail. And so we have a laser-eyed focus on the economy, and we are taking decisions and making sure we monitor what is going on.
I would want all of us here to, and on behalf of my colleagues, say a very big thank you to the type of leadership the EMT has enjoyed from Dr. Bawumia. A chairman who is so involved in the work of he works like a member, like a secretary, is sterling quality, professionally excellent. So we are where we are because Dr. Bawumia is putting up a very professional chairmanship to the EMT. And I pray that we continue to work together as a team.
He'll bring it to bear. We are vice president. You head the economic management committee of the country. Into economic policies now will be driven by you, and I say you will be directed by you. Into I know say he's competent in that area. He's got the focus. He's got the mindset. He's got the experience in macroeconomics, and even as a general academician.
Look at the economic management team. It is quite clearly a fantastic team. Professor Jambafo, Dr. Akutose, Dr. Afriye Akoto, Honorable Alan Chiramanting, Boachi Ejaku, Ken Oforiata, Senior Minister Yao Osafo-Maafo. What a solid team. In fact, can anyone remember the NDC economic management team? I'm sure They themselves cannot remember who their economic management team was. Kukrudu, fellow Kukrudites, we were elected to fix the problems, and I'm glad to report that we are fixing the problems and we are putting in place the policies that will drive the economic transformation of this country. It is very clear that the economy is beginning to respond to the policies of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo. How can government be seeking to contract this magnitude of non-concessional loans at this time when it does not have enough cash to meet statutory payments? This is like an alcoholic who has just been convinced to enter rehab, and just a few days before rehab asks for a carton of whiskey. Can this person be trusted to keep or to stay with the rehab program? Undertaking this additional borrow would mean that the anchor is not likely to hold, and it would compromise the objective of fiscal consolidation and debt sustainability. Given Ghana's economic situation, this bailout program will require a commitment to fiscal discipline that will test the resolve of any government in any developing country, such as ours. And it is important that the government understands what it has signed up for. We should all be prepared for some painful adjustments. To give legal backing to the process of fiscal consolidation, the government is likely to be required by the IMF to pass a fiscal responsibility law. A fiscal responsibility law will require governments to declare and commit to a fiscal policy that can be monitored. It includes rules and provisions for transparency and sanctions. Mr. Chairman, in my lecture last year and earlier in November 2013, when I delivered the Aliu Mahama Memorial Lecture, I offered the same piece of advice to government, but the Minister of Finance responded that it was not necessary. Today, because it is the IMF offering the solution, the government response is that it is very necessary. Mr. Chairman, to prevent the runaway printing of money by the central bank to finance the large deficits of government, the IMF is requiring that Bank of Ghana reduces its lending to government to zero by 2016. Zero. This means that in 2016, Bank of Ghana would not be allowed to lend even a peso to the government. During my lecture last year, I offered similar advice. I cautioned that the printing of money was too much. The bank responded that it wasn't the case. But today the IMF is offering the same solution, and they agree with it. Bless you. As the IMF has stated, government would be required to remove all subsidies on utilities and petroleum products. This will require, obviously, will cause a lot of hardships. The removal of subsidies will also mean a strict implementation of the automatic price adjustment formula.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our joy, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
If you reach a certain stage in life and there is nobody who can look you in the eye and tell you the truth, you are doomed. And that is where our country has gotten to. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. And I feel very terrible as a Ghanaian at this time. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. Inshallah.
Please don't cry.
We shall rescue our country.
Government is broke, government is broke. But people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Right, hello, good morning and welcome to the show. This is Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. It's a Thursday, the 8th day of February 2024. By His grace, we're live and we're here. We're at another edition of the show. Our gratitude goes to Most High God for the rare privilege of being alive and, of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making rounds here in our dear Republic. I'll let you into a panel for the morning's conversation shortly, but let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. Daily Graphic. Bawumia unveils next chapter vision. Private sector to power projects. E-levy will be abolished. Government withdraws VAT on electricity. Minister tasks Central Region MMDCs to ensure peaceful elections. 2024 elections. Reinstate indelible ink in electoral process. Parliament's leadership urges EC. Book on Otumfuo Sergeant Prempeh II launched. The Ghanaian Times. Government suspends 15% VAT on electricity. Public Accounts Committee orders 2 NIA management staff members to refund 98,720 cedis 20% SNIT penalty. Businessman remanded over $27,000 visa fraud, forging KMA letters. Improve road safety, prevent accident in Kwasa and Damba. Residents appeal to National Road Safety Authority. Daily Guide. Bawumia speaks, e-levy to go, new flat tax regime, golden age for private sector. I reduce ministers and deputies to 50. Outgoing MCE list projects. Agenda to reduce cost of living unveiled. The New Crusading Guide. Bawumia outlines vision for Ghana. Court dismisses Chachu Chikete's application on SAL election petition. Tetegu terror squad on shooting spree. Parliament approves 6-month custodial sentence for LGBTQ promoters. KB Asante appointed deputy CEO for GEA. The Insight. Emissions levy. Food and Beverage Association, power producers, others slam government over new tax. Tell us Ghana's current debt portfolio. Dr. Kofi Amatu Bawumia. Mahama vows to revive collapsed cotton industry. Parliamentary primaries. Delegates now demand cars from us before they vote. Majority leader. Anger grows over constitutional coup in Senegal after deferral of presidential election. The Daily Statesman. I don't need honeymoon. Bawumia says he's clear on what to do as president. Kufuor endorses Bawumia as man of destiny. Up to 6-month custodial sentence for LGBTQ activities promotion. KB Asante appointed deputy CEO of GEA. The New Finder. Bawumia unveils vision. E-levy to be scrapped. New flat tax regime. Reducing cost of living. Not more than 50 ministers. Housing for all, among others. Government suspends 15% electricity VAT for stakeholder engagement. GFA submits proposal to government to revive football. Okreku. Bawumia commits to constitutional review on ex gratia, dual citizenship, and powers of the president. Daily Post. Bawumia's speech, polish on debt, more promises, more lies, some old promises and lies. Where are all those who used to speak loud against NDC government? Professor Opoku Agyeman questions. So the paper on the front page says some new promises and lies. My ministers and deputies will not exceed 50. Bawumia will establish Ghana School Sports Secretariat to aid sports development. Bawumia will abolish e-levy, bet tax and emissions tax as president. Bawumia declares. I'll introduce the flat tax regime if elected president. Bawumia. And for some of the old promises, we'll replace textbooks with laptops in SHS this year. Bawumia. All SHS students to receive free tablets this year. Bawumia. NPP to construct airport and harbour in Cape Coast. Bawumia. No village will have water or toilet problem in our first 2 years. NPP. On-duty police officers to wear bulletproof vests. Bawumia. NPP will build 350 SHS. Dr. Bawumia. We will build a theatre in every region. Bawumia. And that's about it for the front pages. We'll be back shortly.
MTN.
Discover the perfect blend of quality, modern elegance, and affordability with Kingdom Home Real Estate. At Kingdom Home Real Estate, we cater to both local and international clients, offering exceptional housing options in Ebri and Ekropong. Our properties are conveniently located, providing a tranquil atmosphere, top-notch security, and essential amenities such as electricity, water, and backup generators. Our strategic locations offer easy access to popular tourist destinations, all within a 30-minute drive from Accra. Visit us in Ekropon, right after the Latte Junction, or in Ebri, near the Ebri Girls Senior High School. Alternatively, you can reach us Kingdom Home Real Estate, where your dream home becomes a reality.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation, to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
For over 20 years of serving the world with herbal and alternative medicine, we've been successful in treating complicated medical conditions with a perfect combination of herbal and alternative methods of treatments like homeopathy, naturopathy, reflexology, and many more. We deliver excellent and effective service to people from all walks of life through scientific and traditional means. We have a well-equipped laboratory with advanced diagnostic and treatment devices to help detect your illness, so we know the right medication to be given. At Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital, we are proud manufacturers of our own herbal medication. Our zeal and passion to save lives with our patients at heart and outstanding achievements since 1996 has won us several awards. That is why we say, go herbal, go amen. We are located everywhere in all the regions. Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital. Allahu Shafi, God is the healer.
How far with your internship?
To be honest, I'm so nervous about starting this new role on Monday.
Oh, please. I know you'll be great at it. You should be worried about what benefits they have. Example, do they have health insurance?
I doubt they will have that for internet. But no shaking. I have NHIS already.
After you son a line, ting.
Ina, look at you. What are you going to do in the office when you can just download the app to register for an NHIS membership?
Yes, my people. You heard right. You can now download and register your membership on my NHIS app. No long queues or tedious paperwork. All you need is your Ghana card to register for yourself and for others. Once you register, you get a new digital NHIS card on your phone. My NHIS app gives you access to credentialed health facilities and services across the country. NHIS covers over 95% of disease conditions in Ghana. Access to healthcare just got easier.
Now let me sign up quickly. Please, Seth, I'm starting work next month.
Everything 12 January, I copy him say about Afcon every year. My Afcon and Soja call. I won't fear Hisense TV, Amcom TV, and a sound system. Yatisu say who? A Hisense Afcon double promo. The best you Afcon beer. Style of Afcon beer. Can clear our Hisense and the Amcom TV so. Sadamna Yedida. Nasa commentary Nusu Chagua. Tieni clear our Hisense sound system so. Bora Hisense showroom bia. Na ube say Atete TV any sound system so. Esan Afcon ninti. Sa uto ade our Hisense ya. Wasumu Jones Hisense nkuwa na 5 years manufacturer defect warranty. Sa Afcon radio. Yemen nije no anya double. If you say Hisense will hama mo. Hisense. Yede wanna to football. Esan football ninti.
We are back bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bet. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the Partial Daily Jackpot.
You always get way more with Betway.
This advert has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more.
The biggest car center in Ghana, offering unparalleled round-the-clock service in autos and accessories. Nadam Autofix is the biggest distributors of used tires in Ghana, offering first-grade second-hand car tires of all rim sizes at both wholesale and retail prices. We are also the leading name in car sensor diagnostics, corrections and sales of car accessories. We excel in car washing and detailing with state-of-the-art steam engine washing machines that keep water away from your engine, ensuring a clean, healthy and responsive engine. Nadam Autofix, the first name in servicing, car accessories and car washing. Visit us today and experience the world of class difference. Find us today at Asoridaho, directly opposite Dansoman KFC and the Shell filling station. For more details, you can call us on 0503 244 266 or 0535 339823. Nadam Autofix. Wukwainso Nyonko Papa.
Star Assurance, your solid partner.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. And let me say a big thank you to Akwesi Afriye for sitting in for me yesterday. Thanks a lot, Akwesi. But with me on the show this morning, I have the Communications Director of the VP, Richard Ahiagba. Good morning, Richard. How are you?
Very well. You look tired.
Yes.
Right. It looks like you've been minding Dr. Baumia's speech from last night.
Not at all. From Kumasi.
Okay.
Just the GFA's presser and all that.
All right.
Also with me on the show this morning is the National Communications Officer of the NDC, Sami Jemfi. Sami, good morning. Yeah, last night, I got a call from Mr. Arizako.
Okay.
To inform me of the death of the former sports minister and MP for Ayawa. So it's Dr. Mustafa.
I heard the news late last night. It came to me as a shock. Very, very sad news. You know, there's a man who I knew personally, had the privilege of meeting on a number of occasions. He was a member of parliament, very hardworking, very committed, very passionate about Ghana, a gentleman by all standards. Like I can't say the Papa Panche. So very sad news. And let me use this opportunity for and on behalf of the National Democratic Congress to express the deepest condolences of the party to his immediate family. We know that this is a period of mourning and grief for them, but we stand with them. And we'll be there every step of the way to support them, to give our fallen comrade a befitting, funeral.
Okay. So our commiserations to the family of Dr. Mustafa Ahmed, former MP for Ayawa East, and also the former sports minister. And, condolences to Mr. Arizako too. I know you're very close to him, so you must definitely be broken. But we pray for strength for the family and all others who are directly affected by his demise. A soldier and a gentleman. Imagine getting rewarded for doing something you already do every single day. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, that's exactly what Momo Season is all about. There's something for everyone. Download the Momo app on Play Store or App Store and use Momo Pay for your day-to-day transactions to a merchant, either through the QR code or merchant ID, and stand a chance of winning 1,000 Ghana cedis weekly and other amazing prizes. The merchants are also not left out of the reward. Receive payments and win. Keep using your Momo Pay app and get rewarded. There are lots and lots of exciting prizes for everyone. So what are we doing today? Transact more with Momo Pay and more points and win big. There's Momo Season. Visit Momo Merchant application.mtn.com.gh for your Momo for Business account today. It's Momo Season, so just Momo it with Momo Pay. Terms and conditions apply. And use Kel Kids toothpaste flavored with strawberry that gives a perfect taste for kids and makes them develop a personal attitude and love for brushing their teeth always for your children. Kel Kids toothpaste protects child's gum, prevents cavities, and makes the teeth strong and healthy with freshness all day. Kel Kids toothpaste is recommended for children between 2 and 6. Is a product from Samara Company Limited, producers of Sasso, and is approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. Kel Kids, happy smile. And the pains of climbing the stairs when not exercising could be challenging for all ages, but you need not worry because lifts and elevators have got you covered with the best portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators on the market today. It's a simple self-supported elevator for both homes and offices, and guess what? It can lift your goods too. Wheelchairs can fit in, and they come in 3 custom-made models. It's affordable and can be installed within 3 days. Visit Lifts and Elevators at Sakuman or just call them on 0200535515. Send a mail to elevatorsgh@gmail.com for consultations and the best solutions in easy vertical movements. An AMN Scientific and Herbal Alternative Medical Hospital is organizing free health screening. This is a way of saying thank you to Ghanaians. And what's more rewarding than this? The free screening includes fertility tests, stroke, diabetes, hypertension, fibroid, ulcers, hepatitis B, and many more. Note that the medical screening is free, but patients with disease conditions will pay a token for their medications. Visit Amen Scientific at Domi, near the Snake Flats, down or Clagon near the Sherman Under Bridge, and all other branches across the country. You can call Amen Scientific on 020-722-9505 or 0244-227192 to book your appointments. Amen Scientific and Alternative Medical Hospital, Allahu Shafi, God is the healer. Right, Richard. So, what happened at the UPS yesterday?
Well, good morning to you.
Good morning.
And good morning to Sammy and your viewers and listeners. Ghanaians in general. Yesterday, the presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, yesterday engaged Ghanaians with fundamentally two assignments and one additional context effort to position the 2024 election for us to be able to know what choice we're faced with. His first preoccupation was to demonstrate to Ghana what the situation is today. He accounted fully for what the government has done and his role in that, directly what his office has had the opportunity to do, to add to the performance of this government. And having gone through that, stated his vision going forward, if Ghanaians are kind enough to give him the opportunity to lead as the president of this republic, what he will do. And I think that that is the meat of the matter and something that you want us to concentrate on. As for what the government has done, that has been the ongoing conversation that we've had done. And the record will suggest that this government has performed much, much better compared to other governments in this Fourth Republic. So that one is a given and perhaps will be part of the campaign. But what is central that happened yesterday is a suggestion of his vision, how he would want to run Ghana, what his own set of visions and ideas are to drive Ghana to the next phase was really the factor of yesterday's presentation.
So what specifically did he have to say about the government's economic performance to date, and what his role has been or has not been as far as this economic performance is concerned?
Well, I think that one of the key focus of that conversation is what has landed us in the difficulty, because that context is very clear to us. But before we get to the context, we'll look at when he assumed office on 7th January 2017 with His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. We met a faltering economy that was in serious decline. And in that year, 2017, they managed to turn the economy around. Economy that was in decline, growing at 3.4 when the NDC left office, saw growth, strong growth, not just growth, but very strong growth of up to about 8.1% in 2017. And then in 2018, they followed up and grew 6.2%. And then the third year, they grew 6.5%. And so that was their record, successively, an average 7% growth for that 3-year period. And then going forward, there was a disruption to that growth trajectory with the advent or the onset of COVID-19 pandemic, and that slowed that momentum down. And in that year, 2020, following a 7% average growth, this economy slumped into more or less not necessarily negative, whilst our colleagues, our contemporaries in the sub-region grew negative, a number of them, but we grew at 0.5% in 2020 compared to what we did in 2019. That is a 6% GDP drop in 2020, 6%, which is very, very significant. It affects almost every calibrations of your economy if you are to slump from 6.5% to 0.5%. And so that is the context. So the performance of this government is in two parts. The point where we took a declining economy and shot it up on a growth path. In fact, in 2019, being cited as one of the fastest growing economies in the world, we lost that momentum owing to COVID, and then was further exacerbated by the Russia-Ukraine war, which disrupted global supply chain and created cost of living crisis across the world. And so that was the story he gave us, and it's an evident story. The data backs it. And so on that basis, we have been doing many other things that hitherto we didn't want to do. For example, the conversation in Ghana today about taxation is one difficult thing that we have to engage because of the faltering of the economy, particularly to be able to mobilize revenue and ensure that government is meeting its obligations. A good one is now the VAT, 15% VAT that is supposed to be imposed on electricity consumers, domestic electricity consumers, which is a difficult tax that we ourselves, per our disposition, per our philosophy and orientation as a party, our worldview, we're not taxers. We're actually a party and a tradition that uses tax as an incentive to drive production. But somehow, because of the difficulty of the global economic situation, I've had to engage as a temporary measure to dig us out of where we are. So that was a picture he painted to try to contextualize for Ghana where we were, where we took Ghana from, what we were doing with Ghana, and what actually disrupted that momentum. Otherwise, today, the story in Ghana would have been different. And all of us know that. Whilst we have exited COVID, thankfully, much of, or the worst of it is behind us, the situation that COVID left in its trail is still with us, which is the economic difficulty it brought on. That is being dealt with, and all the situations that we have to talk about mostly in fiscal policy terms are a direct result of COVID-19. And so the Vice President took the occasion to tell us the performance of the government thus far, which even when compared to the performance of the NDC on all the major indicators, is far better. But our position is not necessarily to compare with the worst example in our history, but to compare with the best example. So we are comparing ourselves against ourselves in the future. So if you look at his vision, he's actually setting a standard that is consistent with the progressive look of the New Patriotic Party, which is to continue to develop this country by using the best policies available to spur growth and to drive Ghanaians to unleash their God-given potential. So he painted that picture for us, and clearly, if you follow the presentation, you would see the trajectory that Ghana was moving on, and then the slump, and what we are doing now to pick up. And thankfully, he pointed to the fact, which is now obvious to all of us, where the economy is today, that in spite of that fall due to COVID and the Russia-Ukraine war, the economy is coming back. And I think that has been a conversation recently. From last year, mid-year last year, 2023, we saw the economy coming back. All the major macroeconomic indicators are looking up. Our inflation, which was in a very poor state in 2022, by December then it was 54.1%, has now improved progressively over the period, if you say, between 2022 December up until December last year, we've done very well. I think currently sitting at 23.2%. Our GDP also progressively has been growing. I think our midterm expectation exceeded what was expected, I think about 3.2. So it's also expected that probably by the final outturn for 2023 would probably look much better or above the expectation that was projected for the year. So clearly he took us through a journey of where the government picked the economy from, where we were taking it, and what happened to disrupt it and to land us in this difficulty, which the data shows now that we are coming out of, and will strongly build from here. And the good news is that his vision actually builds on where we are, anticipating some changes that would occur by 2025 and providing new ways to address Ghana's developmental agenda going forward. And I think that it was a very solid case, one that Ghanaians will see clearly that is a choice that they must make in the December election. That choice must be for Dr. Bawumia, because his vision line shows a clear progressive growth in Ghana's prospects.
Now, I want us to look at the how he explained the role of the EMT and his role.
Right.
Yes.
Well, so the EMT, I think there has been a conversation that a lot has been said about. And you know, as a sub-committee of cabinet, the preoccupation is to provide guidance, or if you like, advice for cabinet's decisions. And so necessarily, and you have been around these boardrooms and you know how it works. So it's not as if that as a committee, their positions are sacrosanct. And so what advice and guidance they provide relative to the economy, there are different moving parts of the economy. So if they provide a certain view, other people around the table, an entire cabinet will have to synthesize that position and take a decision. So the position, the outcome of any cabinet decision is cabinets, not the individuals who constitute, or any committee of cabinet doesn't take ownership of it, right? So the advisory role they provide is to bring to the table a set of ideas for cabinet to consider. Now, what decision emanates from that discussion after the committee has provided its view is a cabinet position. So that, for me, is a dynamic story.
Why was the need for this explanation?
Because there's a clear misconception about the role of EMT.
Misconception by who?
By the general public. That the EMT has some magical powers to stand in cabinet and say, this is what you must do, and if you don't do it, we're not going to close from cabinet. But it's not that. It's a corporate decision-making body that gets ideas, and EMT provides some guidance in terms of what we must do, and the cabinet as a whole synthesizes that idea. And that's why, so you can liken that to a committee of parliament that would probably sit, digest an idea, and come up with, you know, the nutrients out of whatever idea is, and say, Parliament, pass this or consider this, and it will fail on the floor. No, and so it is important to show that the committee's work, okay, is subservient to the decision of Parliament. They bring the idea, and Parliament in the plenary will have to synthesize that idea and move forward or not.
So for the 19-man cabinet, all the members of the EMT are members of cabinet as well. All the members.
Well, sometimes they may call in, you know, experts.
No, those are not members. Okay. They are just called in attendance.
Well, of course, because I'm saying so because their work constitutes an idea, right? It constitutes an idea. So that idea, input, and all of that will be.
No, the question I'm just asking is that.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
The membership of the EMT.
Yeah.
They are all cabinet ministers.
You should say so. Yes.
The vice president who chairs the EMT is also the number 2 on cabinet. He is the deputy chair of cabinet. Okay. Now, that explanation, is it to suggest that we gave advice contrary to what you are seeing? We gave advice that was not taken. So understand that my role is simply to advise. I am not responsible for the outcomes. I'm not responsible for what you think is wrong. That I gave advice, I don't implement. And therefore, if you have a problem with the economy, don't blame me.
No, I don't think the Vice President sought to say that. What exactly he said is to correct the perception that the decision on how to run the economy belongs to the EMT. That's not true. Okay. So it is not the EMT that manages the economy. It's a factually incorrect position to hold. So he corrected that. That was the need for him to explain so we know how the systems work.
So explain this for me. Just hold on a minute. Let's watch Dr. Bawumia himself speaking about the economic management team. And then I'll let you explain why that for me.
Look at the economic management team. It is quite clearly a fantastic team. Professor Jambafo, Dr. Akutose, Dr. Afriye Akoto, Honorable Alain Chiremanting, Boachi Ejaku, Ken Oforiata, Senior Minister Yao Osafo Mafu. What a solid team. In fact, can anyone remember the NDC economic management team? I'm sure they themselves cannot remember who their economic management team was. Kukrudu, fellow Kukrudites, we were elected to fix the problems, and I'm glad to report that we are fixing the problems and we are putting in place the policies that will drive the economic transformation of this country. It is very clear that
I would want all of us here to, and on behalf of my colleagues, say a very big thank you to the type of leadership the EMT has enjoyed from Dr. Bawumia. A chairman who is so involved in the work of he works like a member, like a secretary. It's sterling quality, professionally excellent. So we are where we are because Dr. Bawumia is putting up a very professional chairmanship to the EMT. And I pray that we continue to work together as a team.
The two videos I played, what do they mean?
Well, they
especially the first one where Dr. Bawumia himself speaks about the economic management team. And you see the portfolios he mentioned, the persons and the offices they hold. This includes the finance minister, the offices they hold. And then the accolades. And then he finishes, and of course, he ridicules the NDC, economic management team. What was that about?
Well, it was just outlining for you the quality of the members that forms
of an advisory body.
Yes, of an advisory body. But I want to know, if you can check before I get to that point, what year Mr. Osafo Mafu's video was made? What year it was?
This should be in 2020.
Okay. 2020.
2019, 2020.
Yeah, 2019 perhaps, because I don't think 2020.
Yes.
Okay, so
then he was still senior minister.
Yes. Okay. So critical in every success.
So you're saying that the vice president mounted a campaign platform and touted an advisory, a subcommittee of cabinet, an advisory body, and mentioned the people on that body.
Yeah.
And used all those adjectives to describe them.
Yeah.
And asked if anybody remembers the NDC one, and ridiculed the NDC. And he did all this and ended up by saying that they are fixing the economy, they are going to fix it. And he was just speaking about a committee of cabinet, an advisory body that really has no influence.
Yes.
That's what he did.
Yeah. So I think that you give me some space to answer the question.
Please do.
The first one. Yeah. The first question on his announcement of EMT and the accolades. And you know that this is the outset of the MPP government when we came in, right? When he made that announcement.
This was in
2017.
No, this was in 2018.
2018.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Let's try and see if
yes, 2018.
Okay. So 2018, 2017 we came in. I just gave you the numbers. The GDP of our country was growing. When before we took off in 2017, it was declining. So that statement is manifest in the quality of people that he said were there. In 2018, 2019, we saw growth. What derailed the economy? We have said it clearly. It is the fact that COVID and Russia-Ukraine disrupted that potential for continuity in that growth. So the idea that we have quality people on EMT is not nullified by the situation we're in. Now, even that, the situation we are in, okay, is clearly because of the challenges we face. But the point I want to make is that the individuals who are on EMT have not misadvised or they have not failed. The reason we are where we are is because of the challenge we faced. And that challenge, an EMT in any country would suffer or has suffered this, okay? And the global economic situation tells you where every economy is. Now you make the argument.
No, I'm just saying that the question I'm asking you is that at the time he made this statement, the role of the EMT, as he has described, we don't have a pre-COVID role and a post-COVID role.
Right.
Okay. Now here, when he was eulogizing the EMT and ridiculing the NDC, he did not tell us that they are just an advisory, they are just a subcommittee, they just give advice, they don't implement anything. That's not what he was telling us.
So you see, I think...
Just hold on a moment. That's not what he was telling us. Why is he today taking the pains to explain to us how the EMT is nothing but adversarial?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, that the EMT is a subcommittee of cabinet.
Yes.
Right? Its advices are implemented or not by cabinet.
Yes.
But a better way...
And all of them are cabinet members.
A better way...
The finance minister is on the EMT.
Yes.
The vice president is on the EMT.
Yes, yes.
The trade minister is on the EMT. The agric minister is on the EMT.
Yeah. So that's fine, we know. The point you will need to understand, we need to understand, is not that he is taking the pains to explain this to excuse himself, but there's an obvious misconception in the public to say that EMT is the head. EMT is not the head. We must understand that fundamental structure.
So why did he elevate the EMT on a platform and to list the individuals on the EMT?
No problem. I'll come to that answer.
And to tell us how these are super brains.
Yes.
And to ridicule the NDC.
Yes, because I just told you the performance of that super brain EMT that he talked about from 2017, 2018, 2019.
Their performance is what?
Their performance is a 7% GDP on average for that 3 years up until COVID and Russia.
So we credit the EMT.
We are not crediting
for the performance of the economy.
Hold on. We are not crediting and discrediting. We're just continuing a conversation. The need for him to explain that is to correct a misinformation in the public domain.
How?
We need to correct that. What is not the head cannot be made the head. What is the tail must be the tail, and what is the head must be the head. You need that proper understanding to proceed with the analysis.
So why are you crediting them with the 7% and all those things?
I haven't even done that. I haven't even credited.
Oh, you just did?
No. Let me continue with the conversation for you. So the EMT, as it is, properly situated, is not the head. It's not EMT that leads cabinet. So that must be understood.
So who leads cabinet?
Which cabinet leads itself?
Who?
Cabinet
who constitutes cabinet?
I'm saying that.
Yes.
Let's not delve into all those
tangential
issues.
It's not tangential.
cabinet?
No. I take exception to that.
Okay.
It cannot be tangential.
Okay. Who leads cabinet?
It cannot be tangential.
Okay.
A committee that has the vice president, the finance minister, the trade minister, the agric minister, the senior minister, and you say that it is tangential.
Yes, yeah. So what I meant by
the same people will provide as the EMT.
Yeah.
They provide the advice, and they come and sit as cabinet.
Yeah. If you allow me, I will.
They come and sit as cabinet, and you say that is tangential.
Yeah. No, tangential because you are saying who leads it, and I know you know. That's why I say it's tangential, right? So to the core question that you have raised, I say it's tangential because I know you know, right? So cabinet in relation to EMT is superior. Okay, so that position must be clear, and that's why the vice president took the pain to explain that. Now, the accolades and the exoneration of the EMT that he is part of and chairs, their record is manifest. Their record from 2017, 18, and 19 is manifest. Record? That in terms of what work they do to support EMT is manifest. I was saying that because we're singling out what he said. That's why I'm saying their work. In terms of what advice they gave, which were taken or not taken by cabinet, is manifest in the 7% average GDP growth from 2017 to 19, right? Now, the challenge, unless you deny it, is that in 2020, a global catastrophe happened, which doesn't respect whether you have a superior EMT that supports cabinet or not. Across this world, economies went down on their needs. Okay? So there's an exceptional extenuating circumstance that has happened. Okay? Well, the lawyers will say force majeure. Is that not the case? That something that in the normal happenings of life, you cannot plan for it. It's like death. You can be the strongest man. When death comes, you die. You cannot say because I'm strong, I won't die. So that is the exceptional circumstance. So that if you consider the kinds of people, the caliber of people on that EMT that he just talked about, they came to face a situation that was beyond their control, that was beyond the control of any other possible EMT across the world.
That was beyond their expertise.
Exactly. Yes, okay. Expertise. Right. Yes, okay. Right? If you say expertise, I don't know, but I think beyond their control, right? Beyond their control, the expertise can be your word. It's beyond their control, and so because it's beyond their control, for example, like when death comes to you, it's beyond your control. You can't do anything about it. So they were forced. In that situation, regardless of their performance, what has happened has happened. And that is evidence across the world, that every economy across the world suffered, okay? But you see, the same EMT is digging you out of the situation, okay? And today, where we were in 2020, 2021 was actually better. 2022, most particularly, and probably March of 2023, okay? That EMT is digging you out of that depth that we got to. And today, the story is looking brighter. We have turned the corner and sustainably we are moving forward. And so he builds his vision on that. But the only question that you have asked in relation to the EMT and the accolades he gives them is because he believes that they have quality people on the EMT, but the pain to explain that EMT is not as the cabinet as we have it, is not a situation where the EMT is leading cabinet, that the cabinet is the head and EMT is the tail that supports it, must be properly situated for Ghanaians to know. If you don't know that, then you will make the mistake of saying that Dr. Bawumia is in charge of the economy. That
so
is
he's not in charge of the
economy. No, because the role of EMT is not in charge of cabinet. So the proper...
So he's not in charge of the economy.
You know that, Sidia. You don't have to ask me. You know.
I don't know.
Do you decide?
I don't know.
Okay,
because
wait, Sidia. Before you ask your question,
ask me.
Let me ask you.
I know.
Yeah, but let me.
So
I know you know.
I don't know.
But let me
I want to tell you why I don't know.
Okay, let me ask you one question. It will help you know if you know, if truly you don't know. Do you make the argument that a committee of cabinet is superior to the cabinet?
I would never make that argument.
Okay, so if you don't make that argument, then you cannot misunderstand the position that we need to properly contextualize who is the lead and who is the support. Okay. So once you make that argument, you cannot say that the committee which is subservient to the cabinet is in charge of the economy. You cannot say that.
Is Dr. Bawumia the one implementing the communications strategy in this government? When I say comms in that regard, I'm not talking about information. I'm talking about communications. Let's even say digitalization. Is he the person in charge of the digitalization?
His office has an oversight for the implementation of some of the digitalization programs.
So his office oversees the communications ministry?
Not the communication aspects, which we know is a Ministry of Communication and Digitalization. Yes. So there's a general space.
No, I know there's a ministry, right. Just like there's a Ministry of Finance.
Yes.
There's a Ministry of Communications and Digitalization.
Yes.
Are you saying that ministry, headed by Mrs. Akufu,
yes,
is supervised by the Vice President?
No. It has oversight for a specific aspect to do with digitalization.
So the digitalization role of the ministry is superintended by the Vice President?
Not necessarily, but has oversight in terms of cooperative implementation.
I don't get it.
Yeah, so it's not the
Are those decisions not taken by cabinet?
Which decision?
All the decisions, as far as digitalization is concerned,
yes,
are they not decisions taken by cabinet?
Yes.
How is the Vice President responsible?
Okay, so there are decisions agreed and signed off by cabinet and given to the ministry, or proposals from the ministry approved by cabinet, and then the ministry goes to implement. In that implementation phase, after all of cabinet has approved that idea, in that implementation phase, then his office has oversight for the implementation of what cabinet has agreed in relation to digitalization.
So he doesn't initiate them. He is not in charge of the policy formulation. When the ministry does its work and it comes to cabinet, and the cabinet approves it, communication is dealt with by the ministry. Implementation of digitalization aspect is done by Dr. Bawumia. Is that what you're explaining?
No, it's not that cut and dry. Now, from the initial stage, you're saying the proposals that goes to cabinet for consideration and approval will emanate from the ministry, from ministries working proposals. Cabinet can bring ideas, but then you assume generally that will come from the ministry for cabinet consideration and debate and approval, right? So now, once that is done, and the idea becomes a cabinet idea for implementation, the aspects that relate to digitalization, the Vice President's office has an oversight in helping with the implementation of that idea.
So what it means is that anything we see, as far as digitalization is concerned, is a decision by the cabinet.
Everything in government is cabinet
decision by the cabinet, and is from what you're saying, is leading the implementation.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when it comes to the tax policies of this country, are they not cabinet decisions?
Largely, yes.
They are cabinet decisions.
Yes. Yeah, cabinet decisions approved by Parliament, yes. So it's a corporate position.
No, even the digitalization.
Yes, I just want to make a fuller point. I just want to make a fuller point that cabinet, yes, Parliament. So it's a corporate decision at the end of the day, so that we could take all of this into account.
Okay. So all the tax decisions are cabinet decisions?
Yes.
Not so?
Yes.
Okay. Now, why would the Vice President say that, for example, he's a member of the EMT? Say the EMT advises cabinet, and then cabinet takes the decision. So they bring the advice, then they come and sit in cabinet, and then they will try and persuade, because they will make the presentation, so they will try and persuade the other colleagues to see the way of the EMT. Now, this EMT has implemented tax policies. The Vice President says that, I don't believe in this. If I got the opportunity, I will change it. I don't believe in that, I'll change it. I don't believe in this, I'll change it. I don't believe in this, I'll change it. How does that work? That he's in an EMT, and then he sits in cabinet. The cabinet takes a decision on tax policy. So specifically, there is emissions tax, there is VAT on electricity, he's talking about flat rate, which means that he doesn't believe in the rate of the taxation that we have now. He mentions betting tax. All these are proposals that went to cabinet, of which is a member, from EMT to cabinet, and then cabinet approved, and they went to parliament, and they are being implemented. He says that I'll depart from all of this. Some of these measures are even 2 months or 3 months old. What does that mean?
What it means is he's rendering his vision, what he would do if he has a cabinet of his own as the president of this republic, what considerations he would give, what once an EMT under him and leading a cabinet, whatever proposal they bring, how he will guide for implementation.
So he disagrees with these tax measures?
Now, there are two things to that.
Okay.
You look at, first of all, the environment. What would necessitate the consideration for or against a tax proposal? Okay? And if the environment warrants agreement with it or disagreement with it, ultimately the buck stops with you as the president, as the host of this program. The buck stops with you. So you then say that I speak first or Sammy speaks first. So president will guide that this is what we must do. Cabinet will debate and all of that and come to a consensus position. But when he is the head of EMT, all that consideration will be given, all that debate will be allowed, but his preference would be to move in a certain direction.
So it means that, so the point I'm asking is that, does it mean that he disagrees? For example, if he says you have a flat tax regime, does it mean that he disagrees with this regime? If he says that he will scrap e-levy, does it mean that he disagrees with e-levy? All the things that he says he will change. Mind you, his government has 10 more months to go. It says that all these tax policies, I will change them. Is it to suggest that he disagrees? Is it to suggest that he was not in agreement when those things came up? Is it to suggest that he did not approve of them at cabinet?
Those are possible arguments to be made by Sami, and I'm sure he's going to.
I'm just asking you because
I'm going to answer your question.
He has made a case against policies that have been. He's the head of the EMT, even if he's
I know.
He is on the cabinet.
Yeah, I agree.
He's the vice president of the republic. Okay,
I agree.
I don't want to add the fact that he follows the finance minister to go and present the budget. You know, but he says that
that again is tangential.
But he says that I will step away from all of this.
Yes.
What does it mean?
Yes, it means that he is looking forward to an environment that will be different from this one, where the conditions allowed for the implementation of those policies. That simply is the situation.
It was part of the IMF negotiation.
That's fine, but I'm saying that...
Just hold on. It was part of the IMF negotiation.
Yes.
These things, many of these things, or all of them, are part of the IMF negotiation. You've signed up to a 36-month thing.
Right.
So I'm trying to reconcile the two.
But so specifically, you're talking about the e-levy. E-levy is not part of the IMF.
No. So
then the VAT, electricity.
VAT on electricity. Because government is, if a cabinet, we are told, says that it is going to engage the IMF again on this VAT on electricity.
No problem. I mean,
which clearly indicates that it is part of the IMF.
That's okay. I mean, there's no denying that. But you see, Senior, you take medicine when you are sick. Okay? You can take preventive medicines, but essentially, you are called upon to take medicine when you are sick. So he's telling you a situation where he sees that Ghana would heal by the time he gets to become president. Looking forward, based on the trend.
2025.
Yes, based
when
on
you are still on the program.
Oh yes, Senior. We are on a path coming out of the slump that we're in. You won't say that we are where we are. Where we are is not the same place we were in 2022 or March of 2023. So he's looking forward, saying that we are digging out of this. We still have 10 months to dig out of this sustainably. If you continue on the path that we've been on from 2022, December 2022, with inflation up until December 2023, where it got down to about 23%, then you can reasonably forecast to say that by this year, December 2024, your GDP, your inflation would have gone down much further. And you have seen that.
But that's not what he said.
No, but that's what goes.
He didn't say that.
That is what would have gone to the making of that position. Because that position, he's not explaining to you why he's doing that. The reasoning that goes into that is that I was sick. I had to take a medicine that include e-levy, emission tax, and all of that.
Those taxes don't have sunset clauses.
But so I'm saying that.
How do you say that this is what he meant?
But if the fact that there are not implicit sunset clauses in them doesn't mean they cannot be.
Are you suggesting that what Dr. Bawumia is saying is that if he got the opportunity of becoming president today?
Yeah. No, he won't. He can't be president today.
I said.
But he won't be.
Okay. I don't want to be misrepresented.
Yes, so we president.
But I'm just saying that are you suggesting that if he got the opportunity of becoming president today, he will not be able to scrap all those taxes?
So the factual thing is that Dr. Bawumia will not become president today. By the time he gets to become president, it will be 2025, January 7th, by which time much of this economy will be up for examination. It would be a situation in his analysis to make this recommendation. At that point, the economy will be in a much better place to allow for those policies to be considered. Okay, so now until then, when he becomes president, he envisages that the economy on the path that we're on will be much better, would warrant that we remove those taxes. And don't forget, Senior, there's a history to this government, okay, which came into government in 2017 and removed some 21, some 15, and reduced the rates of some 4, or a total of 21 taxes. We did reverse them. Okay, so that history is there because we considered that things were different in that environment, so it warrants that we give Ghanaians a break. So he is just telling you that consistent with how he has operated with this government, if he gets to that point, expecting that things will continue on this trajectory forward, he will consider these set of measures. And the point, you know this well, it relates to your world very much, which is in sports. And just recently in Ivory Coast, for example, we brought some 23 players or so. Not all of them played. And those who played took responsibility, including those who didn't play, for the failure of our AFCON escapades. Now, there are specific players on the pitch who committed egregious errors, okay, albeit under pressure, committed errors that led to our painful exit. Those who did not contribute directly to that, those who actually scored goals for us to move forward, all together accepted the responsibility that we have all failed.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
It doesn't mean that they themselves directly have done anything that constituted the failure. Okay? But as a corporate body, they accept the responsibility for that. But in that team are people who have excelled, people who have contributed positively to move the story forward. Yes, another AFCON will constitute the same Black Star with the hope that they will learn from the past and build on to give us success. That's the cycle of life. And the proposition we're giving is that the performance of this government serves as a foundation on which to build forward. And Dr. Bawumia is putting forward a set of ideas, taking into account the transition from this environment to an environment where some of these decisions or policy decisions that obtains today will be revised. And in doing so, some that merit, okay, given the environment that we're going to be in, will be intensified and invested in. For example, he talked about the free SHS as one cardinal thing that he's going to continue to invest in because it has helped, it will help, and will continue to be invested in. Talked about industrialization. He will continue to invest in that so that Ghana industrializes and creates employment for our young people. So the vision, there's a lot to be hopeful about, and it tells us clearly that the election in 2024 is a choice between yesterday and tomorrow. It's a choice between the past and the future. And I think that all Ghanaians will consider to choose the future, which is Dr. Bawumia.
All right. So our friend, the Honorable John Jinapor, MP for Yapeku Service, and he says e-levy, and it's on the basis of what we're just discussing. It says e-levy was presented by this government to the IMF as part of existing revenue measures. It says, read the ECF agreement. E-levy cannot be taken out without IMF approval, just like VAT on electricity.
Yeah, okay, that's a fair point. But then it is not a condition. It didn't come into being as a condition of the IMF. But then you leverage it as a revenue stream, because when you are making your case to IMF, you are demonstrating your revenue potential.
But what has been captured in the document is binding.
No, I agree. I don't.
So the point he's making is that for anybody who was part of this negotiation and knows clearly that this is what we negotiated with IMF, this is what we agreed on, you would know that in order to do anything about this, you would have to go back to the IMF and go and make
about
a case.
The e-levy.
Yes. Whether it's e-levy, whether it's VAT on electricity. And that's why I told you that living last week, the information from Cabinet, in fact early this week, was that they were going to engage the IMF as far as the issue of the VAT on electricity is concerned. So you cannot agree on something with the IMF. It's part of the document, your 36th thing, and then you create the impression as if it is something that
you can dispense with.
I can dispense on the basis of me holding a certain position.
No, you can't. You possibly can't. Because, you see, one of the things that I think is that in our democracy, we need to do a bit more of that. Because, you see, democracy is a rule by the people.
No, this is about the IMF
I agree.
program.
I mean, IMF notwithstanding.
Yes.
IMF notwithstanding. IMF is liaising with our government to correct a certain, balance of payment position.
We have signed an agreement.
I agree.
I will behave this way.
Yeah.
These are the things I will do.
Yes.
I've signed up to it.
Yeah.
If I do it, this is what you will do in return.
Yes.
And then you, the person who went to sign the agreement, says that, oh, this and that and that and that in the agreement, as for me, if I become president, I will take them off.
Yes, but you see, those agreements are in respect of revenue.
Yes.
Okay, they're in respect of revenue. So the position I just told you holds that if by 2025 our revenue position has improved to a point where we feel that we don't need that, we don't need the e-levy to be able to be self-sufficient, to be able to finance our affairs.
The projections have been done over the next 36 months.
No, I agree with you. But that position does not hold constant events of life.
Yes.
It doesn't hold constant.
So shouldn't, for example, anybody who says I'll throw it away be telling you that perhaps these are the alternatives. This is what I'll do. I'll replace this with this. And then somebody even has the question. So at the time of entering into the agreement, where were those issues?
Which were like
the point I'm just making is that these tax handles are part of the IMF agreement.
Yes.
We have signed up to it.
Fine. I'm just saying that. But you see, so we need to distinguish that these were not set of policies like the betting and the 15% consumption, electricity consumption tax, which were conditions necessary for the IMF.
Which one are you separating?
The e-levy.
It is.
No, I'm saying that it was absorbed in it as a revenue measure that shows that you can raise a certain revenue.
Just like the others.
Yes, I'm saying that.
They are both old and new.
I agree. But
that you have put together. At that point, no. Once you have put them in the agreement, there's nothing like before and after.
No, but it's like having a child to go into a marriage, okay? The man accepts, or the woman, you do accept. The man and the woman accept that this is my stepson, but it is the son. He doesn't wake up every morning and say, "Where's my stepson?" He doesn't do that. He say, "Where's my son? Where's my daughter?" So there are different things, but you deal with them at the same. But the point I am making. You get the point.
I get you.
So the point is that you should tell Honorable George Jinapor that he's bleeding. All this.
Just stating facts.
No, I'm saying that
because the impression to be honest with you, I had not read the ECF that detailed. So when you said that E-levy was not.
Technically, it's not, but it's been brought in as a stepson, which is okay, a stepdaughter, which is okay, but it's still a stepdaughter. You can call it, you can choose to call it my stepson or my son.
There's only one IMF agreement between
no
Ghana
problem
and the IMF as we speak.
Yeah, but the ingredients in there have their own age. Okay, the E-levy came 2022.
I will not allow you to kill me. We'll be back shortly.
I'm glad to be able to report, Mr. Speaker, that the economic management team, under the stellar leadership of the strong, brilliant economist, Vice President Mahamadou Bawumia, has risen to the challenge, and the hard work is beginning to show positive results.
Pascal is showing his boss the efficient new technology they've installed. She is pleased, but now she's asking, why is that still there? Pascal explains that he hired a security guard to protect the data shed. The boss is not so pleased anymore. If you haven't upgraded to cloud storage yet, it's time to get business done better with MTN Business.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ampadu.
Good afternoon, Mr. Asare.
How is business doing?
My business is collapsing.
Why is your business collapsing?
I sold my products and services to my clients on credit, and my debtors are not paying their debts.
Have you heard of Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company operating in all the 16 regions of Ghana?
Not at all.
Mr. Ampadu, all you need to do is to contact them on their customer service line. I recommend Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company to financial institutions, businessmen and businesswomen, other companies, and also individuals. Rosic Consult has 98.4% debt recovery rate. We have professional debt recovery managers. You are assured of swift debt recovery. No recovery, no commission. For Rosic Consult Limited, no more write-offs. And we pre-finance the recovery ourselves.
We are back bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bet. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the partial daily jackpot.
You always get way more with Betway.
These adverts have been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more.
Over 18 years in business, Appointed Time Printing Limited has delivered quality service to some of Ghana's well-known brands. With our equipment capacity, we are able to deliver 1,500 pieces of polo and t-shirts in 1 hour. This is only possible with us. For retailers and wholesalers, we offer for sale high-quality polo shirts and t-shirts in different colors at affordable prices. We have a one-stop shop for all creative designs and billboards, 3D signages, flexi banners, car branding, stickers and posters. Locate us at the old GNTC building near Swansea Shopping Arcade, Accra. Contact us on 0501 454165, 0501 454167. Connect with us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook at Appointed Time GH. Appointed Time Printing Limited. Our printing is a
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
Star Assurance, your solid partner.
Mommy.
Michelle say, fe.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Choco toothpaste, healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Choco toothpaste, Sankofa.
Yenchi, Kel Choco toothpaste.
Happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Hey, give it to me! Hey, man! Go! One time! Stop! Ah, enough you guys, oh! Continue!
Prepare yourself to unleash even more moolah by staking from 1 Ghana cedi to 350 Ghana cedis. And you could win 26 times your stake on the exciting new Pick 1 game from GamePack. Play by dialing *946# on all networks via our website or download the GamePack app on www.gamepackgames.com. Choose your Pick 1 number from 1 to 36. Place your stake and watch our live draws on Adum TV at 9 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. daily.
Hey, live life like me with GamePack. GamePack, more moolah, more power.
This game is regulated by the National Lottery Authority, not for persons under 18. Play responsibly. Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Still with me on the show, I have Richard Ahiagba and Sammy Jemfi. But what does wealth mean to you? Do you want to live like a tycoon? Remember, us God and Mola got the power. Ghana's newest lottery game draws live on Adom TV at 9 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. daily. Now pick up your phones, tablets, and computers and download the GamePack Games app on Play Store. You can also play on the website www.gamepackgames.com or by dialing *946# on all networks. Just choose 4 numbers from 0 to 9. It's easy to play and easy to win. Charlie, make we play this game and make some more. Nobody beats our odds in Ghana. Game Park Games, more moolah, more power. This game is regulated by a National Lottery Authority, but it's not for persons under 18. Play responsibly. And Ayasuku, Betway's cash out just got way better. The enhanced early partial and auto cash out feature lets you cash your bet out early, cash out a portion of your ongoing bets, or even set your bets to cash out automatically. All this to give you way more control over every thrilling bet you place. Sign up today at betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. This is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana, and it's not for persons under 18. Betway, get way more. And charcoal has essential medicinal properties that help remove toxins from our bodies. The natural absorptive property of charcoal helps to remove the bacteria that produces bad breath in the mouth, hence giving you a fresh breath. Kel Charcoal toothpaste has been formulated and produced under strict hygienic conditions with all the necessary production protocols and has been approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. Constant use of Kel Charcoal toothpaste gives you a good fresh breath, whiter teeth, reduces dental plaque, makes the gum healthy and strong, prevents cavity, upset stomach, hangover, and so on. Kel Charcoal toothpaste is recommended for adults and children from 6 years. Kel Charcoal toothpaste for white teeth and fresh breath all day long. This is another quality product from Samara Company Limited. Kel Charcoal toothpaste, happy smile. And whoever you are, wherever you do, wherever you go, drink Angel Cola, your key to enjoyment. Ready for something refreshing, great tasting with excellent flavors? Onya, you've got varieties to choose from. Angel Orange for that special occasion, Angel Mango, Angel Peach, refresh your mood, Angel Apple Lime. Angel Drinks produce vitality and maintain fluid in normal balance. Angel Drinks, refreshing, invigorating, and exciting. Angel Drinks are produced by Adonko Soft Drinks Beverages Limited. Angel Drinks taste like our day, and they are recommended for all, including children. You can reach Adonko Soft Drinks Beverages Limited on 0244 832286 and 0507878668. Terms and conditions apply. And Kingdom Home Real Estate provides quality but affordable housing facilities for sale. The facilities are located at a serene environment of Ekwapime Kropon and Abri. They are just a 30-minute drive from Accra and provide a modern touch of comfort. They also provide high-standard security service plus CCTV, standby generators, constant water supply, and electricity. They're surrounded by lovely tourist sites such as the Abri Botanical Gardens, Boti Falls, Safari Valley Resort, etc. All you need to do is to pay 70% up front and spread the remaining 30% over a 2-year period with no interest payment at all. You can locate the Abri properties close to the Abri Girls School and the Kropon properties right after Latte Junction. You can call them on 0559 761144, 0555 621 611, or visit their website www.kingdomhomerealestate.com and also check out their Facebook page. Sammy, you heard Dr. Bawumia tell us about the performance of the government so far, what he's done, his vision for this country if elected into office as president.
Thank you
and
very
of course,
much.
Richard also, in his interaction with me, has also brought some clarity on the issues. Yes.
Okay. Clarity or confusion? Well, a very good morning to our cherished viewers. Doc, thank you for this opportunity. Just to remind you respectfully once again that Richard spoke for 47 minutes.
I engaged him.
And yes, and I know you engaged me for 47 minutes too, because you've always been a fair arbiter. Doc, it was Brian Tracy who made a statement that the glue that holds all relationships together, including the relationship between the leader and the led, is trust. And trust is based on integrity. You see, so at any point in our lives, when somebody comes to us to present a message, when somebody comes to us to seek our mandate, the first thing you need to ask yourself is whether or not this person deserves my trust. Whether or not I can trust this person. Because the credibility of the messenger is more important than the credibility of the message.
Really?
Yes, because if I don't trust you as a person, nothing you say matter. As for promises, anybody can promise you heaven and earth. Anybody can promise you paradise. Anybody can say anything because they need something from you. The most important thing is whether they are credible, whether they have a proven track record of integrity and credibility, whether they have a proven track record of honesty and truthfulness. That is the most important thing. And you see, and if we are to approach this conversation from this standpoint, we will realize that but for the fact that there are many unsuspecting people out there who may not have the capacity to decipher the facts relative to economic issues for themselves and are likely to be hoodwinked by lies, we should not even waste precious airtime discussing Bawumia. That the only reason why it is worth discussing this speech is because of the innocent Ghanaian out there who may not have a deeper appreciation of certain issues about the economy, finance, and so on. The need for us to help such people come to the realization of the truth. That is the only reason why this exercise is productive. Other than that, why should anybody, why should any reasonable man take Dr. Bawumia serious again?
He's the Vice President of the Republic. He's the presidential candidate of the MPP.
Why should anybody take Bawumia serious? Bawumia.
Why shouldn't?
Bawumia.
Why shouldn't?
The man who, in his bid to become Vice President of this country, told Ghanaians that he has worked at the Bank of Ghana before. He knows that the money is here in Ghana and that we don't have to borrow for roads. All we need to do as a country, according to Bawumia, was to toll roads in this country, and that we will be able to raise enough money to build all the roads we need. And he said he was able to say that because he has worked at the Bank of Ghana before. Doc, think about this statement. Reflect on it. Which person who has a modicum of sincerity can make such an outrageous statement? We don't have to borrow for roads. All you need to do is to toll the roads. Today, under him, as chairman of the economic management team,
an advisory body,
we will get there. We will get there. We have so much borrowed that our public debt has increased from 120 billion as of December 2016 when President Mahama was leaving office to over 600 billion as of December 2022. Such that for the first time, Ghana has defaulted on its debt obligations. The first time in about 4 decades.
But Sami, you know the EMT does not contract loans. You know that.
I will come there.
Yes.
Doc, look, maybe let me just deal with this now. What is the full meaning of EMT? Sometimes we don't even have to go into certain technicalities.
Well,
certain things are commonsensical. What is the meaning of EMT? Economic Management Team. All of us here in the studio, we are educated. We know the importance of words. It is not Economic Advisory Team. It is Economic Management Team. What is the meaning of management?
But the reality, Sami, you know, that the reality is that the EMT, is subservient to cabinet.
No, listen.
It is.
Listen. The EMT,
yes,
is a component of cabinet.
Yes, it's a subcomponent.
Now, it is that component of cabinet which is responsible for the management of the economy. That is what I'm trying to say. It's, the EMT is a component of cabinet. And it is that component of cabinet which is responsible for managing the economy. Managing the economy means what? That is why it is called Economic Management Team and not Advisory Team. Managing the economy means what? They coordinate and implement government's economic policies. And that is why in that cabinet, all the ministers who are in one way or the other responsible for the economy, whether it is trade, whether it is agric, whether it is finance, they are all members of that economic management team. That is it. Assuming without admitting, hold on. Assuming without admitting that the economic management team is even advisory, which is not. But assuming without admitting that it is. So what body is responsible for managing the economy of Ghana? What body?
The finance ministry.
No, the finance minister is a member. He at the EMT is under the vice president.
Yes.
His boss is the vice president.
Yes.
The finance minister is just responsible for the implementation of the fiscal economic policies, the fiscal economic policy of government.
Yes.
The monetary economic policy is dealt with or implemented by the Bank of Ghana.
Yes.
All of them are part of the economic management team. Their chairman is Bawumia.
Yes.
So listen, Doc, hold on, let me go step by step. So this whole claim that EMT is advisory is a barefaced lie.
Why?
Why? Dr. Bawumia,
yes,
the chairman of the economic management team, on his own website, let's listen to what he says about his role as chairman of the economic management team. And let's see if that role Dr. Bawumia himself talks about is an advisory role. He says, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is a vice president of the Republic of Ghana. This is Bawumia's own website. He chairs the economic management team, which is broadly responsible for shaping the government's policies and guiding their implementation. So they don't just advise, they shape the policies. They guide the implementation, according to Bawumia. He is at the forefront of a broad and inclusive development strategy in Ghana, involving, among others, the leveraging of digitized government services to transform delivery of public services and digitalizing the economy with an overall objective of building Ghana's digital economy, and so on and so forth. So clearly, if you listen to what Dr. Bawumia himself says about the role of the EMT, he doesn't talk about anything advisory. He talks about implementation. He talks about shaping policies. Look, the primus inter pares in this government is none other than Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Yes.
His word is what matters on who has what role, because he's the president and he has ultimate responsibility for everything. And as president, he has delegated certain responsibilities to people. And Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, times without number, has told us that when it comes to the economy, the man in charge is Bawumia, not Ken Ofori-Atta. You want us to ignore Akufo-Addo's word and listen to who? Richard Ayagba.
No, but
listen. Hold on. Doc, let's go step by step.
The vice president himself is the one who has said that the EMT is advisory.
And I'm saying that he has only said so because he knows that the government of which he is a part of, which he is pretending not to be a part of, he is pretending now to be an opposition leader in his own government. A government is a vice president. He is saying that his role is just advisory because he knows that that government has been an abysmal failure. He knows that that government has destroyed the Ghanaian economy. And so, like Pontius Pilate, like Judas Iscariot, he has decided to betray his master. He has decided to wash his hands of the mess and exculpate himself from liability. So it is not what the man says now that he is about to seek our vote as presidential candidate that matters. It is what he said on his website many months or years before now that matters. And if you look at what he said, he was emphatic that the economic management team is responsible for guiding the implementation of government policies, for shaping government policies, and so on. And I'm saying his boss, Akufo-Addo, in opposition, told us his handicap. He said the economy was challenged then. He studied economics in school. He didn't do too well. He ended up with a third class. He veered into law, did quite well in law. So on public platforms, he told the entire nation, and you have the video, you've been playing it, that he has seen this young man who was very instrumental in the government of Kufuor, worked at Bank of Ghana and was instrumental in the redenomination of the CD and many of the reforms that happened at the time. And this man is Bawumia. So he was bringing Bawumia to help him come and stabilize the CD, arrest the dollar, stabilize the economy, and so on and so forth. Look, when Akufo-Addo was making this statement, Bawumia was nodding. Bawumia never said that I'm coming to only advise you. I will not be responsible for managing the economy.
You have not experienced.
Okay, hold on. Then in opposition, this same Bawumia headlined all the economic lectures and programs of the MPP. He was the one who was projected as their economic messiah, their economic wizkid, who went about propounding textbook economic theories and pretending to have the magic wand to solve all the problems of Ghana. It was Bawumia. That alone makes him responsible for the mess of this government. Because it was many of the things he said which Ghanaians relied on to vote for this government. If he didn't even end up as a vice president and he chose to maybe sit back, he will still be responsible. Doc, you understand that alone? Then, when the government took office and began to implement its economic policies, it was Bawumia, not the finance minister, not anybody, who held all government programs announcing their achievements. In fact, the first ever program that the government organized was after their first 100 days in office. And that is when they outlined their first 100-day achievements. Bawumia was the one who headlined it. He spoke at the function. That is the program where he said he had arrested the dollar and given the keys to the IGP. Doc, you remember that? What was a mere advisor doing at that platform? So he is the mere advisor. Who is the implementer? Why was he the one leading all those things? Then, the tape you played when we went on break. This President Akufo-Addo, who has the final say on the roles of everybody under him, in his 2018 State of the Nation address to the nation, this is what he said. I am glad to be able to report that the economic management team, under the stellar leadership of the strong, brilliant economist, Vice President Bawumia, has risen to the challenge. Advisors rose to the challenge.
Okay, just hold for clarity. Let's
has risen to the challenge.
Let's watch.
And the work is beginning to show positive results.
Let's watch exactly what President Akufo-Addo said.
I'm glad to be able to report, Mr. Speaker, that the economic management team, under the stellar leadership of the strong, brilliant economist, Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia, has risen to the challenge, and the hard work is beginning to show positive results.
That we make sure that...
I'm glad to be able to report, Mr. Speaker, that the economic management team, under the stellar leadership of the strong, brilliant economist, Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia, has risen to the challenge, and the hard work is beginning to show positive results.
This is it. Words don't die. This President Akufo-Addo, Bawumia was in attendance. So if he was a mere advisor,
this is an address to Parliament.
Why was the president giving him the credit for so-called positive results in economic performance? He is the one responsible for the economy. The president told us in opposition that he will be the one responsible. But Bawumia himself presented himself as the one who will be responsible in opposition. When they came into office, he held the first press conference aligning their economic achievements. He even adored the economic management team and said, what a solid team, not knowing they were all empty barrels. He did that. President Akufo-Addo gave him the credit for so-called positive results, and he was happy. He celebrated it. He was happy with his boss. He, Bawumia himself, takes credit for achievements of this government. Look, what does 1 million, one constituency, one ambulance, what has it got to do with Bawumia? One constituency, one ambulance. He says that the president delegated him to do certain things. So he's taking, then by that same logic, then he cannot take, you see, you cannot approbate and reprobate. In one breath, you can't say, I was not responsible for anything, I was a mere advisor. Or I was only given delegated authority. Then in another breath, all the positive achievements Richard can talk about as achievements of this government, Bawumia says the funds must come to me. He doesn't even mention Akufo-Addo.
Could it not be that as vice president, the president gave him specific assignments?
Yes.
So, for example, Richard explains to us.
Number one on that list of specific assignment was the economy. And that is why Akufo-Addo was giving him credit for positive results.
Per what he said, he disputes that.
No, he doesn't dispute that because on his website, he says that he chairs the economic management team, which shapes government policies and guide the implementation of government policy.
What he said yesterday.
But what he said yesterday is a lie, and that is the point I'm making. And it is a lie because it contradicts everything he has said before, everything Akufo-Addo has said. So, Doc, let's go on. Look, when Bawumia in opposition wanted somebody to ask him questions about the state of the economy then, who did he direct his questions to?
Vice President
Pakwesi Amizata. So Pakwesi Amizata, he was a president. He was not a mere advisor. Yet Bawumia could direct 170 questions to him. Why? If Bawumia knows that a vice president is a mere advisor, he's not responsible for anything, he cannot be held liable for anything, why direct 170 questions to Amizata? You see the hypocrisy?
As head of the
You see the double standards? He did so because he knew that Amizata was the head of the economic management team and had overall responsibility for the economy. He knew that President Mahama was the president, but he didn't direct the questions to President Mahama because he knew that President Mahama had delegated the economy to Amizata. That is it. In much the same way, Ghanaians are directing questions at him. Because even though Akufo-Addo is the president, we know his handicap and we know the arrangement he has made. He has set up an economic management team and given the ultimate responsibility over that team to Bawumia. He said that times without number. So you cannot now run away from responsibility like a coward.
Haven't you heard many people make the point that Dr. Bawumia is not listened to? He is not listened to, and that's his view on taxes is going to scrap, not actually vindicate that position that he's not listened to on some of these issues.
I just wanted to go step by. I will come there. He's not listening to. You should produce one minute of a cabinet meeting where he gave any advice and it was not listened to.
His quest to scrap
what?
These taxes, and even downsizing of government.
That is why I told you you see, this whole conversation about Dr. Bawumia and the kind of things he said yesterday is a test of our collective sanity as a people. Our sanity as a people. Even a child will not believe this cock and bull story about Bawumia coming to scrap taxes. This is a man who in August 2016 in the studios of Peace FM told Ghanaians that Momo should not be taxed because Momo is for the poor. If you doubt me?
No, I have that.
No, you have it. But for the benefit of those watching me, this is a story which was done by the BNFT, dated August 26, 2020. The title is Momo Tax Will Discourage Digitization and Affect the poor. And if you read it, he says emphatically that Momo should not be taxed.
He made the same point yesterday.
Yes.
So does it not vindicate
I'm coming.
The position that he was not listening
to? Who speaks for government? Who speaks for this government? Who is the chief spokesperson for this government?
The president.
No, apart from the president, among his ministers, who speaks for the government?
Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah.
Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah. Good.
Information minister.
So, this is Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah, reported by Peace FM Online. You can Google this story. E-levy. Bawumia instrumental in setting 100 Ghana cedis poor threshold information.
Date?
The date is 11th April 2022.
And this story was not repudiated?
No. Information Minister Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah has disclosed that the Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia played a key role, emphasis on key role, in arriving at the fine details of the e-levy. He goes on and on to tell us that Bawumia was the one who was so instrumental in crafting the e-levy. He even proposed that there should be a threshold of 100 Ghana cedis and all that. You can read the story for yourself.
Yeah, could it not be that he disagrees with the thing? He realized that he realized that there was no way the government was not going to go ahead with the e-levy. So, in that case, let me find something.
And he was instrumental in crafting the law.
At least
and now this person now tells you that when you vote for me, I will scrap the e-levy. When he promised that e-levy should not even be introduced, and yet participating in crafting the law which imposed e-levy on us. Never made a comment on the e-levy, never criticized it, never expressed any form of dissent that the public is aware of. Rather, the Minister for Communication tells us that he crafted information. And the General Secretary of the NPP, let me also tell you what the General Secretary said. Fully supports e-levy, John Boadu, March 9th, 2022. Then this liar comes to you and tell you that because now I want power, vote for me, I will scrap e-levy. And then Ghana for your reading goes wrong. What do they take us for? Some zombies? Some zombies? Doc, what hasn't Bawumia said? And that was the point I was making. Apart from the fact that he said we didn't have to borrow for roads. He's the same person who said in 18 months of an Akufo-Addo Bawumia government, no community in Ghana will have a water or a toilet problem. He's the same person who stood at Cape Coast and said that good people of Cape Coast, I have good news for you. We are building, no we will build, we are building for you a brand new harbor. When at the time, not a single block was being laid anywhere for any harbor in Cape Coast. And today, that project is a pipe dream. In fact, to know how Bawumia is allergic to the truth, how he is a habitual liar. Look at what the president said about that promise when he was asked a question in a radio interview. The president, his boss himself, didn't even know that they had made that promise.
But he was there?
But he said,
but the president was at the event.
But the president said, I don't recall. I don't recall. And this was a clear lie. This is not a failed manifesto promise. Clear lie. We are building for you a harbor when there was nothing like that. Alhaji Bawumia, the man who said that Ghana now needs concrete roads and that this government was going to begin to build concrete roads. Where are the concrete roads?
They've done one around Tema.
Tema, by a private company. Private company did it, not government funded. Not government funded. This is the same man who told us that John Mahama had imposed too many taxes on Ghanaians and that the taxes were hurting the economy. Now John Mahama must know that we are in a global economy, and when you impose taxes like that, they hurt the economy. It puts you in a downward spiral, and that we have to use tax policy to propel growth, and when they come, they will move us from taxation to production so that they will get their taxes from corporate taxes and income taxes. Doc, I lie.
His advice
he has imposed over 40 taxes as head of the economic management team. He is the one, the brain behind all the taxes. Let nobody fool you, Doc.
He wasn't listened to.
Who wasn't listened to? Because he wants power. It is not what men say when they need something from you that matter. All these years before he won their presidency, what had he said about all these taxes? Have you forgotten so soon the fight we fought against the e-levy? Including Supreme Court actions, including even fiscal costs in Parliament. What these people did, what Bawumia, his spokespersons, his staffers, Gideon Bako and the rest, how they all supported this tax and said we were against it because we knew that it will help the NPP retain power. And these people are, because they think we are some zombies, we can't think. We cannot decipher the truth for ourselves. They think they can hoodwink us again with lies. No, look, this is the same Bawumia who told us that he has introduced a Ghana Post GPS app, which is the best in the world, more advanced than that of the UK, US, Sweden, and so on, which was a lie. Pentimamento. This was an application already existing for free on Google on a system called Plus.coos. A company picks it. They use it as an application called Asasi GPS, which was available to all Ghanaians on Google Play Store and Apple App Store before this government took office. Available, anybody could download it to generate digital address because it was based on Google's Plus.coos world navigation system. It was free. We could use it at no cost whatsoever to the state. They decide to now, Bawumia decides to pay $2.5 million for what already existed and what was already available to us for free. and he says it's an achievement, we should clap for him, and it's the best in the world. It ended up being a lie. He said he has introduced mobile money interoperability. It was the first in Africa. The fact checkers checked in. It was a lie because Tanzania had DS years before ours. He said he has introduced motor insurance database system. First in Africa. He was checked by Fourth Estate and other fact checkers. It was a lie. South Africa and Nigeria had DS years before us. This is a man who is a chronic liar, a pathological liar, bereft of any credibility. You believe him at your own peril. And that is why all the polls before he spoke and after he spoke are pointing to one thing. Ghanaians are saying they don't trust him. You saw the way he was panting, sweating, talking and all that. Yesterday when he finished, he was wet with sweat. Nobody believes him again. Because anything he's saying today, he said more lofty things than that in 2012, 2016. We gave him the opportunity, and now we know the outcome. Look, he who feels it knows it, like Bob Marley said. Your daddy Jem no nimse nisi. Like Bawumia said, after all is said and done, the economy is your pocket. No amount of economic gymnastics can change that. We know the state of the economy we bequeath to him. We gave you an economy that was vibrant. An economy that was doing so well, and I'll come there. Now he said that the economy was in a mess, the meat was down to the bone, and so on and so forth.
A declining economy.
You see, everything Dr. Bawumia said yesterday, the speech he read, was nothing but a compendium of three things. Barefaced lies, number one. Number two, ridiculous excuses. Number three, deceptive promises. Let's start with the lies. Lie number one, paragraph 75 of his speech. We introduce online passports application system. Dr. Bawumia says that they introduced online passport application system. And so today you can stay in the confines of your home 24/7 and apply for a passport. But Doc, what are the facts? I want to demonstrate to you that this man is a chronic liar. He has not changed and he cannot change. What are the facts, Doc? The online passport application system was launched in December 2016 by the NDC government under the leadership of then Foreign Minister Honorable Haruna Tete, widely published by the media. GTV did the story, the video is there. And in my hand here is a publication by modernghana.com. Anybody can Google it. I give you my source for everything I say. Online passport application launched to ease process. The story is dated 21st December 2016. Story by Julius K. Sachi, GNA, Ghana News Agency. So he says the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration has launched an online passport application system for Ghanaians to ease the mode of application while ensuring maximum security for applicants. Ms. Hannah S. Tete, the sector minister, said the service was inherent in the e-government strategy. She said, quote, the e-government strategy is targeted at ensuring the use of information technology to provide citizens with efficient passport services through a secure, fast, and convenient means. Ms. Tete said the challenges that are surrounded, you can go on and read all the story. So Bawumia lied again when he said it is this government that introduced online passport application. Lie number one. Lie number two, Bawumia said that because they have introduced online passport application, which is a lie, it has eradicated corruption at the passport office. Because of yes, read the speech. They have eradicated corruption at the passport office because of digitalization. You see, this man, he's such a lie. Sometimes you can't even understand.
So where is the lie? You just point out.
Look, I hold in my hands another publication. And if you are listening to me to know that I'm speaking the truth, Google it. myjoyonline.com, 15th August 2023. Foreign Affairs Minister fumes, sacks overstaying officers at the passport office over suspected extortion. There is Shirley Ayokobochi, Foreign Minister. August 2023, went to the passport office and lamented
we show that video.
The endemic corruption that has engulfed the place. The story reads, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Shirley Ayokobochi, has raised her apprehension regarding the ongoing prevalence of extortion and corruption practices with the passport office. Read the entire story. You will see how the woman lamented the endemic corruption that has engulfed the passport office. And threatened people that he was going to transfer them, and so on and so forth. Why would Bawumia, a whole vice president, haven't you learned? Don't you know that in this day and age, you can't lie and go scot-free? That this is not 2012, this is not 2016? Okay. You will not be third time lucky with lies? Okay. Doesn't he know? Lie number 3. Dr. Bawumia said that their government introduced Momo interoperability, which allows you to send mobile money from one network to the other. It's a lie. Because, Doc, anybody watching me, the adults, you know this. Before this government took office, number 1, you could send money from Vodafone to MTN. You could send money across networks through the token system. You remember tokens? That is what we're doing. Because the NDC government in 2011 has secured a loan of 7 million euros for an implementation of the Ghana eSwitch project by GEPS. GEPS is the Ghana Integrated Payment and Settlement System, a subsidiary of the Bank of Ghana, which automated and digitalized, began the automation and digitalization of banking services. Because hitherto, it took you a long time to make a transfer or even to cash a check. So we introduced that thing. And as part of that eSwitch program, the token system was introduced. So you could send money from MTN to Vodafone using the token system. It is not new. Now, even with this current mobile interoperability where you can do it without the token from one network to the other seamlessly, and also from your bank account to your mobile phone number. Look, before this government took office, the Bank of Ghana, which is the one implementing this policy, had already signed a contract with a company called Sipton to implement mobile money interoperability. Bawumia came, the man who claims to be a mere advisor, he was able to walk to the office of Bank of Ghana, a constitutional autonomous body, got them to drop Sipton, got them to procure the services of another company of his choice, on grounds that our deal was inflated by 4.6 billion cedis, a total lie. Because the Sipton deal, which was going to do the same thing, mobile money interoperability, and connect our mobile accounts to our bank accounts, was free. Government was not going to put in a dime. It was an agreement on build, operate, and transfer basis. The company, Sipton, was going to use its money to build the entire system. They were going to get their fees from consumers, users of the platform. Just like today, when you do Momo, you pay a fee. So those were the fees they were going to get. Over a 15 years period, the total fees was going to be 4.6 billion. But that was the gross. They will have to now deduct their investment costs and other operation costs to get their profits. But Bawumia just presented this to Ghanaians as the Mahama government executing an inflated deal. And now decided to change the company, brought in a new company. So before you came, we had already thought about Momo interoperability. You could send money from one network to the other through the token system. We had also signed a contract for this seamless Momo interoperability platform. You came and abrogated it. It is not new. Anybody can check the facts. Line number 4, Dr. Bawumia says they have created 2.1 million jobs. You see, Doc, as for Dr. Bawumia, I don't know. I don't know what this man is looking for in this world. Because sometimes you ask yourself, how can a man be so deceptive, so dishonest?
So what's dishonest about the claim? Yes.
You see, when you want to know that somebody is lying, check their story, check their accounts. You will see contradictions. Once you see contradictions, those are your red flags for you to know right away that they are lying. Look, in 2021, February of 2021, the Minister for Employment, Ignatius Bafo-Awuah, appeared before the Vetting Committee of Parliament. And he was asked a question as to the number of jobs the government has created. Check the dates. I'm giving you the sequence. February 2021. The minister said that the government had created 3 million jobs. This is the story, BNFT Online. Over 3 million jobs created in the Akufo-Addo first term. Ignatius Bafo-Awuah. February 18, 2021. Over 3 million jobs comprising the private and public sector were created at the end of 2020. The first term of Akufo-Addo's government, Minister-designate for Employment and Labor Relations, Ignatius Bafo-Awuah, has told the Vetting Committee of Parliament. You can read the story. He even attempts to give you breakdowns. Okay? Then, look, not just that. On 16 September 2022, the same Minister for Employment, look, if we want to know the number of jobs government has created, is it not sensible that it is the minister responsible for employment, those statistics, who have the fine details of the statistics?
Yeah.
So good. So he says in February 2021, the figure is over 3 million. Now, 16 September 2022, my job online, you can Google this again. Government has created 5.3 million jobs. Doc, can you believe it? 5.3 million jobs, Employment and Labor Relations Minister. The story reads, government has created 5.3 million jobs since assuming office in 2017. Employment and Labor Relations Minister, Ignatius Bafo-Awuah. He gives the breakdown again. You can read the story. Then from 3 million, February 2021, to 5.3 million, September 2022. Then Bawumia now comes in 2023, 27th April 2023, in a tweet. And Bawumia says, we have created 2 million, he didn't approximate. So let me give you the specific figure. 2,255,928 jobs.
Which date?
27th April 2023. Check Bawumia's Twitter handle. It is there. So the jobs that were over 3 million by 2020 increased to over 5.3 million by 2022 September. Now all of a sudden reduced to 2.2 million. And only yesterday he introduced a fourth different figure. He says now the figure is 2.1. No longer 2 million. These people, they can, jobs, they can just cut it 100,000 off. So now it is no longer 2.2 and over, but 2.1. Clearly, these are the words of a chronic liar. Look, the whole thing does not even make sense. If this government has created, in truth, 2.1 or 2.2 million or 5.3 million jobs or 3 million jobs, whichever you want to believe, Doc, whichever you want to believe, then they should have eradicated unemployment in Ghana. In fact, they should have been underemployment in Ghana. Underemployment in Ghana. You know why I say so? Because in 2016, Doc, the Ghana Statistical Service conducted the Ghana Living Standard Survey 7. And according to that report, page 89, you can check, they said the total number of Ghanaians 15 years and above who are unemployed are 1,027,594. So 1 million. 2016. If by 2020, Ignatius Bafo-Awuah says they created 3 million jobs, then it means they eradicated this number. They created 1 million jobs and created 2 million in addition. So, I mean, you can understand that. Then the recent population census we did, 2021, the Ghana Statistical Service says that the total number of Ghanaians who are 15 years and above who are unemployed is 1,551,118. So, Doc, 2016, 1,027,000. 2021, 1,551,000. They say they have created 5.3 million jobs, 3 million jobs. Dr. Bawumia said 2.2, now 2.1. Then it means they have eradicated unemployment. That is how ridiculous, outrageous this claim is. If you have done so well like this in job creation, how come that the unemployment rate, which stood at 8.4% in 2016, has increased to an all-time high, 14%? How come? Only you create millions of jobs, and yet unemployment has almost doubled, the highest in the history of this country. Since they came, all the job creation interventions they made noise about, they touted, they've all turned out to be total fiascos. NAPCO, fiasco. Kennedy Japan said it. Total failure. Today, the program has been collapsed. Beneficiaries are staying home. For over 9 months, they have not been paid any arrears. USTAT, they made a lot of noise about it. They said they were going to create 1 million jobs. In the 2024 budget, go and check. They've not even implemented 5% of USTAT. And you have the effrontery. People don't have work to do. People cannot even afford 1 square meal a day. The boys and the girls, the people are done with school. People have learned a skill, a trade, no jobs. And you are lying to all these people. Doc, the lies continue. He said, again, that when they came, and now I'm zooming in on the economy. He said that when they came...
let's try and be wrapping up.
Look, okay. When they came, he said that the economy was down, the meat was down to the bone. Number one, Dr. Bawumia, you lied when you made that statement
was it
at
not,
paragraph
was
5.
It not quoting President Mahama?
Because President Mahama made that statement in 2013 in the wake of the implementation of the single spine salary structure. The economy was in a much better position in 2013. But because we're implementing single spine, which had ballooned the compensation budget, you know, we're saying that about 75% of total revenue was going into only one budget item, compensation. It was within that context that President Mahama stated that. So when Dr. Bawumia at paragraph 5 says that John Mahama made that statement to describe the economy in 2016, he lied. This is what he said. Ladies and gentlemen, when we assumed office in 2017, we were confronted with an economy with a declining economic growth, along with several problems and challenges. A graphic description of the state of the economy at the time was provided by the former president. At the time, was described by the former president and my main opponent for the 2024 election, who announced to the nation when he was present that all the meat was finished and the economy was left with bones. A lie, it was not 2016. You see, now again, in 2016 when we were leaving office, we did not leave them empty coffers like he claimed. This government is the most luckiest and the most resourced. Because when we were leaving office, Doc, number one, we left this government a sinking fund which had $200 million in it for the repayment of the first Euro bond that Kufuor procured, $750 million. The government of John Mahama had already paid $300 million of that debt. We put oil money aside, $250 million, the mark of visionary leadership, for them, that when you come, use it to pay that Kufuor Euro bond, what was left. Number two, we left them a Ghana Infrastructural Investment Fund, which had $270 million in it. This was money we borrowed on the Eurobond, and we set it aside for investments in infrastructure. Number three, Doc, we left them a Ghana Stabilization Fund, which had in it oil proceeds, oil funds, to the tune of over $250 million. That in times of difficulties, government could fall on that. And that is what they fell on when COVID struck. We left them 960,000 metric tons of cocoa production. We left them an economy without Dumso. He claims that they fixed Dumso. The worst of a pathological liar. How did you fix Dumso? Doc, you know that Dumso was an inherited problem. Ghana first recorded Dumso in 1984. Second time was 1997. Then under Kufuor, 2006, 2007, when he sent pastors to Akosombo to go and pray because there was a drought, it was not raining and so on, we had Dumso. It was not a new problem. Then when we came, August 2012, the West African gas pipeline, by pure force majeure, was disrupted. So due to a deficit in generation, we recorded Dumso. President Mahama did not blame anybody. President Mahama took responsibility and said, I'll fix it and fix it. How did he fix it? He brought in the power badges, America Power. He brought in so much power that today they even insult President Mahama for bringing excess power. And solved the problem. Said that by 2016, load shedding had officially ended. And so in March of 2016, Alhaji Bawumia went on Joy News for an interview. And he was talking about Dumso. And Kojo Jansen told him that Dumso has ended. And this is what Dr. Bawumia said. Ghana Web published the story. The date is 2nd March 2016. The title is Mahama deserves no credit for fixing Dumso. Bawumia. So Bawumia acknowledged in opposition that Mahama fixed Dumso. Chairman Sabonsu, in an interview on Hello FM a few weeks ago, Doc, I'm sure you've seen it, admitted that Mahama fixed Dumso. Nana Poku, energy analyst and former presidential candidate of the MPP.
Not candidate.
Aspirant of the MPP, says that the MPP should give credit to Mahama for fixing Dumso. What have you done to fix Dumso? You've not added even 1 megawatt of power to our generational mess. The gas that we use to power the plants, President Mills and President Mahama gave that to Ghana. $1 billion investment, a Tuabo gas processing plant, which has employed many Ghanaians and which saved this country $300 million of forest every year. The legacy debt, we gave you ESLA, which has so far accrued over 40 billion. So we gave you that economy. We gave you an economy where inflation stood at 15.4%. After all the noise he made in opposition, after all the lectures, after all the grammar, after all the economic textbook theories, and after being the most resource government in the history of Ghana, having borrowed than all governments put together, having had more oil revenue than all governments, including 2 new oil fields, you have collapsed the economy so that today inflation is 23%, after rising to 54% in December 2022, and pushing 800,000 Ghanaians into poverty, according to the IMF and the World Bank. Today, our debt to GDP, which was 56% under Mahama, has so much deteriorated that we have defaulted on our debt obligations. Today, the economy Mahama gave you, which was rated by all the sovereign credit rating agencies, Fitch, Moody's, as B-, an economy that investors had confidence in, today is rated as junk with no access to the capital markets. Today, interest rates in Ghana is the highest in Africa, and it's been the highest for 2 consecutive years at over 32%. Today, under Bawumia, everything is in disarray. There is not even one economic matrix which is better today than it was in 2016. Yet Bawumia lied that the economy is doing better, and he quoted averages, statistical averages. Doc, listen to me. We don't know the figures he used for his averages, so we won't even debate him. But we know the figures, we know the economic matrices we handed over to him.
I thought he mentioned the periods.
Yes. No. So what are the figures? Because in this speech, he uses 419 figures. For example, he uses cooked figures, deficit figures. Paragraph 10. He says that the deficit, you will be shocked to know, I'm sure because you were in Kumasi. Paragraph 10. He says that fiscal deficit for 2016 was 8.4 when it was 6.1. A lie. He says fiscal deficit for 2019 was 4.1 when it was 7.2. Another lie. He says fiscal deficit for 2020 was 10.8 when it was over 15%. Doc, don't you know this? Yeah. So you can't use statistical averages when you don't know the figures you use for that. But at least we know, Doc, that the industry sector grew by 4.3% in 2016. Today, the industry sector, Appendix 1C, page 167, 2024 budgets, industry sector grew 2023 by negative 1.2.
That's
negative.
No.
Negative 1.2. Manufacturing 2016, John Mahama 7.9. Onupo one year about 1D1F. Those who make noise about 1D1F, why? Are they saying that because of COVID, the 1D1F companies they don't function? Negative 1.0 manufacturing from 7.9 in 2016. Construction, which has a ripple effect. I'm giving you my source. But Womia should tell us the source of these figures. Construction, 8.4% growth 2016. Do you know the rate of growth for construction sector? For 2023, negative 5.0. Okay. Dr. Bawumia told Ghanaians yesterday that they have done well in terms of the depreciation of the cedi. Really? Which sensible person will say, Doc, that if the dollar moves from 1 cedi 20 pesos in 2009 to 4 cedis by December 2016, that one is worse than the dollar moving from 4 cedis all the way to 17 cedis in 2022, making many businessmen lose millions that they have not recovered to date, and now 12.6%, almost 13 cedis. So from 1.2 to 4. Bawumia is saying that from 4 cedis to the dollar to 12.6, almost 13 cedis is better than 1.2 to 4 cedis. Right. You know, mind-boggling. And Doc, finally, yes. Did I hear Dr. Bawumia say that he is not corrupt? Did I hear Dr. Bawumia say that he is selfless? And that he's using digitalization to fight corruption? Dr. Bawumia, you are more corrupt than Akufo-Addo. But the time has come for us to unpack your corruption. Because you are now the presidential candidate. You, Bawumia, you orchestrated the stinking PDS deal, the biggest corruption scandal in the history of this country. He orchestrated it by changing the requirement of a bank guarantee into an insurance guarantee, change it from a condition precedent to a condition subsequent, and when the insurance guarantee was presented, did not even ensure that the right due diligence was done according to the FTI report, and a group of fraudsters, according to Peter Mewu, defrauded us, took over the 20 billion Ghana cedis assets of PDS, collected our light bills to the tune of 1.5 billion cedis for 6 months, until today they have not paid that.
How does that make Bawumia corrupt?
Because Bawumia is the one who decided to change the requirement of a bank guarantee to an insurance guarantee, contrary to what Parliament had approved. He had no power. And it was because of that single act, by watering down the requirement, because the bank guarantee is more liquid than the insurance guarantee, and by changing it from condition precedent to subsequent. Tell me, Doc, sensible person, Ben, and if you have 20 billion cedis worth of assets, you will give it to a business or a company to manage without taking a guarantee. And the Parliament of Ghana in its wisdom says, take the guarantee before you give them the asset to manage. So that should they mismanage it, you can fall on the guarantee, the bank guarantee, to recover your money. Bawumia says, no, I will give them the assets before I take the guarantee. And today we have been defrauded. According to the Institute of Economic Affairs, we lost $2 billion because of that scandal. Who caused it? A vice president, who a sitting Minister of State responsible for finance, Charles Adubuaye, says you take $200,000 from investors.
He didn't say that.
He says that he was taking investors to him, and that when they go, the investors should give him $200,000.
Yeah, but he didn't say that Dr. Bawumia takes.
If Bawumia is not, Doc, you sitting here, can I bring somebody to you? Can I bring somebody to you and tell the person, come and give Dr. Randiabi $100,000? I will not say that because I know you won't take it. The reason why
Charles there are people who have defrauded people,
Doc,
using my name.
No, but this is a case Charles Adubuaye never said that give me the money and let me go and give it to Dr. Randiabi or Bawumia. Yes. He said, let's go so that you give the money to him. No, meaning that he knows that Bawumia will take the money.
Sami, it does not.
I give you another example, Doc.
Sami, but on that one, it is no evidence that Dr. Bawumia takes $250,000 from investors. It's not.
I believe Charles Adubuaye. You can choose not to believe him, but I know that gentleman, that Minister of State in charge of finance. If he doesn't know that Bawumia is in the habit of taking bribes, he will not have the courage. Imagine somebody say, let's go to J.J. Rollins.
People do that.
He didn't take the money. He said, let's go and give him the money. Look, why is Dr. Bawumia's office administrator being prosecuted by the special prosecutor today? Why? And why is he still working with Bawumia as we speak? Kenneth will say, why is he working with Bawumia?
He's still there.
He's still there. Wrote a letter to the Commissioner General.
I mean, he's still working in the office?
Working there. I dare them I challenge them. He's working there as at this morning. This is the man who wrote a letter on Bawumia's letterhead that the Commissioner General of GRA should give Bawumia 14 containers of rice belonging to a Ghanaian businessman for Ramadan donations. A Muslim who steals rice for Ramadan donations.
No, somebody in his office. You say that the person is being investigated.
You know, there's something we call presumption of regularity. So far as the letter was on the letterhead of Bawumia, and so far as Bawumia has not sacked him.
Dr. Bawumia's office.
Have they sacked him?
No, hold on.
They've issued a statement. Yes, I know that. Yes. Have they sacked the man?
I don't know.
What? You are the managing director of Metro TV.
No, I don't know.
Can Annie Ampofo, your producer, use the official letterhead of Metro TV? Write a letter to a company to defraud them. You say you are not aware of it and you keep Annie Ampofo at post. Doc, where did Bawumia get 80 million cedis from to bribe delegates? During the presidential primaries, the first super delegates, didn't he give delegates 100,000 cedis, 150,000 cedis? The main one, didn't he give every delegate 400 Ghana cedis? Multiply 400 Ghana cedis by the over 200,000 delegates. Like what you are saying, where did he get that from?
By the race,
this is the man.
Politics.
This is a man. When we come back, maybe another time we'll talk about it. This is the man who has brought. Doc, you raise the money.
Yes.
And you pay taxes on the money.
No, but you guys do that all the time.
Look, 80 million, it has never happened. NBC. Somebody
no, I'm not saying 80 million. Whether it's 1 million.
Look at the size of the money.
Whether it's 1 million or it's 20 million.
Doc,
the level of accountability is the same.
I want the public to know that digitalization has not been a vehicle to fight corruption as claimed by Bawumia. It's rather been a vehicle to create corruption.
Okay.
That is why today, if you go to ECG, even though under President Mahama, ECG came up with an application system which consumers could use to pay electricity bills for free. This application was developed by a worker in the IT department of ECG. Bawumia came in, decided to procure the services of a company called Haptel on sole sourcing basis. The company brought in nothing new, just that they built on what already existed. And today, that company which is fronting for Bawumia at Haptel, at ECG, called Haptel, that Bawumia introduced and gave it to the company. This is the company which will handle your tariff collection system on this application. Do you know that till date they are paid 4% for every electricity tariff you pay? For an application that already existed. Assuming without admitting that the application is even new, what is a sensible thing to do? Just buy it, get the proprietary rights, and that is it. But Bawumia says you won't buy it. Every electricity tariff you pay, every payment to ECG that goes on the platform, the company gets 4%, and that is what he's using to finance his campaign.
Right.
And lastly, if I don't say this, Dr. Mandebwama will not forgive me. Lastly, Doc, let's talk about digitalization. Let's get, I just want to make 3 points here, quickly within 2 minutes. Doc, number 1, digitalization is a means to an end. It is not an end in itself. So you can pontificate about, I've done e-pharmacy, I've done e-health, I've done e-wachi, I have done e-yokugari. That will not put food on the table of Ghanaians. That will not put money in their pockets. Digitalization is intended to make life easy for people, to bring government services to people, to make government service delivery efficient, to make it seamless. It is a means to an end. It's not an end in itself. So, for example, if you have mobile money interoperability, but you don't have a job, your Momo account will be 0. That is not money on your Momo. You understand? So let's get that clear.
I hope you are not downplaying the importance.
No. We are not downplaying, but let's give it its role. It is important, but when somebody has collapsed the economy and you are hungry and you don't have a job and he tells you, I've done e-wache, e-pharmacy, the person is a joker. Because that is only a means to an end, a means to access a certain service. Number 2, even on the topic of digitalization, Dr. Bawumia and the NPP come nowhere close to John Mahama. Look, digitalization, the applications run on infrastructure. In terms of IT infrastructure, no government comes close to John Mahama. The Eastern Corridor fiber optic cable, 900 kilometers. And Doc, according to the current Minister for Communication, Oslo Usu, she said that fiber optic cable is the most important IT infrastructure in Ghana, and that all digitization programs and applications run on that. Oslo Usu.
Akufo.
Oslo Usu Akufo.
Yeah.
I have the story here, I can read that to you. John Mahama did it.
Okay.
From
third one
to Boko.
So third one.
Goes through 5 districts.
Yeah, so the third one, we don't have to.
Goes through 120 communities. John Mahama did 300 kilometers of metro fiber that provides internet and Wi-Fi services for institutions and the public in Accra and the Tema Enclave infrastructure. John Mahama built the first grade A plug and play ICT facility, the Accra Digital Center, which is the largest business process outsourcing facility in Ghana today, with a capacity to employ over 10,000 to 20,000 if operated 24/7. Today, young people can work in corporations in China, Hong Kong, and from Ghana, from there. John Mahama built the largest and the most modern, 600 rack space data center with a 45, a rack space at KNUST, the largest data center he built it. The 4G LTE, base stations, we created 120 base stations, which is what the Gota phones run on. John Mahama did it. The DTT, the digital terrestrial, television system, John Mahama did all infrastructure. Then, Bawumia Beka Bibimientia will say, we have given licenses for private people to build fiber optic. You can't talk about your single intervention in the construction of fiber optics as a government.
The private sector participation is also something which is...
So if President Mahama is talking, if we are talking about schools built by a government, and then you come and say a number of private schools have been built, unless you're able to tell us the government intervention that led to that, or you say that under my government, DVLA has licensed 1 million vehicles, so it's an achievement. Licensing a company to do that is no achievement. In any case, most of those companies already existed. And they are not even the government that has licensed more companies. Again, on the applications, my last one, on the applications, on the applications. All the things he said. were all introduced by President Mahama as part of the e-Transform project, which we introduced in 2014. Under that e-Transform project, which was intended to automate and digitalize government services and so on, we had e-Justice. The current Chief Justice, when he appeared before the Vetting Committee of Parliament, said he was part of that committee in 2011. Okay. E-Justice. Okay. We had e-procurement. We had e-government. We had e-parliament, and so on. Under e-government, we had a government to government, government to citizens, government to business. Now, under the government to citizens, that is where we had the platform under John Mahama called eservices.gov. Now, look, this is where I'll land. eservices.gov. You check the last page of the Green Book, it is there. On this eservices.gov, where citizens could go on this platform to now digitally apply for licenses and access the services of corporations like DVLA, AME, Immigration Service, Ghana Passport Service, Parliament of Ghana was on it, and so on and so forth. Everything is here. We did everything, nothing new. They came, and the 4199, Deceptive Bawumia, Pintimamento Bawumia, decided to just change the colors. Then they redirected this same website we created, this same platform, from eservices.gov to epay.gov under the Ghana.gov platform. So it is the same thing we did, captured in the Green Book. That is why I brought the Green Book, last page, which is what they have gone to rebrand to change the color and all that. So look, everything from Ghana card, everything lies. The bottom line is that you cannot trust this man because he has proven time and again to be a liar. The man we can trust, and about line here, Doc, 30 seconds, the man you can trust is the nation builder, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. His track record is there. The man doesn't just talk. An experienced man, a visionary in the area of energy, you see what he did. Maritime, you see what he did. Education, health, you see what he did. And he's coming to implement a 24-hour economy with 3 shifts that will create jobs for the youth.
Richard,
I believe in John Mahama, and Ghanaians, according to the post, believe in Mahama.
So thank you.
Richard,
I'll give you, our time is spent, but
you just believe him at your own peril. You're just a liar.
Thank you, sir. I'll give you 10 minutes.
And you give me 10 minutes.
I'll give Sammy 10 minutes. All right. I will not
extend.
No, I will not entertain any interruptions from any of you.
All right. Okay.
Richard.
Yes.
You've laughed for 30 seconds.
Oh, you are subtracting.
10:33.
That's good. You know, tangential, and now legitimately I can use this here. Yes. Tangential, peripheral, erratic, regressive argument made by Sami. This same argument lost them the election in 2020. I will not engage Sami in this peripheral, talk plenty, no substance conversation. He started with his lips very softly done when he came from makeup. Look, he spoke until he's foaming at the lips. He go explain Taya because the matter is simple and straightforward. Dr. Bawumia is a part of a government. He talked about the government's record. This is what Sami has been discussing from when he became communication officer. This government has done what? This is the same message he's been talking about. Today he's brought a vision going forward. Tell me the value you place on this, the value you don't place on this. In relation to what you are offering, that's what the conversation is. It is not about complaining and trying to hit me and all of that. The point is that, what is your vision? That's what we're asking. What is your vision? You haven't talked about it. I was hoping that you take the liberty to say that this is what we are going to do, so that we'll look at the problem we are in today as a country, and then put side by side your solution and say that this is the way forward. You have not offered one. See that in Ewe, there is this proverb or saying that says that eviedo ano ujuna, which means like a son is a son. Eviedo ano ujuna. Okay, so it's a son who commits the mother to be insulted. You get it?
Okay.
So that if your son doesn't go to create any problem, you, the parent, will not be insulted. What Sami has done is to provoke me to get into an argument that may affect His Excellency, the former president, and I don't want to do that. But I will refer you to some evidence that exists. Much of what he talked about, and I think I want to correct that because it's a complete misinformation, is the narrative of the NDC to foist lies on the former president, the vice president, to create him in the nature of a liar. He's not. That's the only thing that serves their narrative, and they keep saying it. And Sammy, it doesn't matter if you say it 1 million times. By his performance, by the look and feel and experience of Bawumia, you cannot say that man is a liar. And everything he has said about the economy, in opposition and present, have found out. Everything he has said had found out exactly. Nothing he said that is a lie. The outcomes that you are seeing, for which reason you will say, oh, he said this and it didn't happen, it is contingent upon the situation and the environment that he's operating in. But given the environment you had back then, everything Bawumia said in the lecture before we won the election in 2016 holds true as principles that are true today and are true yesterday. So that fact must also be made. So it doesn't matter how many times you want to charge your communicators to go out there and say, oh, Bawumia is a liar, Bawolaya, and all that crap you guys have been talking about. It is not true. He's not a liar. And I say it's a crap. I know you jittered a bit. It's a crap because it's not true. Look, let's make the comparison. In 2003, when the bill for the national health insurance was introduced in Parliament, the NDC opposed it. The NDC opposed it. The NDC opposed it collectively. And the former president, this is an account, this is a media account, you can read it, I'll give it to you. He opposed it when the NDC staged a walkout. The former president also walked out with them. Now, later on, when they were canvassing for power, they said now they will introduce one-time premium for the same national health insurance that they opposed. Which one-time premium that they wanted to implement, they didn't even implement. Now, so look at this scenario and tell me who is a liar. Somebody who promised I will do ABCD. One, he opposed the thing, now he's for it, flip-flopped, and said that, give me occasion, I'll implement it. Didn't implement that. Did you implement the one-time premium? No. You didn't. So, in this situation, who is a liar? There's evidence to your lies. This is not you talking about any value, any principle, anything. You are just saying that I will do A, and you didn't do A. You got a chance. If you are saying that you made a point that the way somebody talks to you when he's looking for power is different from how they behave. Why? You take that as the fact. So the way the former president, don't.
What law are you saying when you were passing, we worked out? What law? I just want to know.
Just say.
Is that NHIS law?
Just hold on, listen. When you get a chance, you can deal with it. I'll give you that. You can read that. You can read it. The point I am making is that you want to demonstrate somebody as a liar. And this is the evidence for you. Okay? Let me give you the link. I have other things to quote from you. You understand? So, evidence of the former president's flip-flop, which technically you call it flip-flop, but if you want to be gross, like Sami was, and then being outrageous, you can say he lied. When it came to the Zongo Development Fund that this government wanted to put together, the former president and the NDC argued that it was a misapplication of funds. And therefore, it wasn't a proper use of the taxpayers' money. But they turned around in their manifesto 2020 or so to say that they will use that money to build mortuaries in Zongo communities. Yes. It's here. I'll have you read it.
Is that they will use the Zongo Development Fund to
they
build
will, yes, rather convert that to build the mortuaries.
Who said that?
I'll give you the report. I'm just reading the report to you just like you did.
Who said that?
It's the former president. That's what it's attributed to him. Mahama said. I'm not saying. I can read it for you. He said what? Again, the Zongo Development Fund, which in the view of the president, is bringing development to the people in Zongo communities. He recounted how former President Mahama said of the use of Zongo Development Fund for the provision of ICT facilities and AstroTurf pitches represented a misapplication of funds only for the former president to turn around and promise the construction of mortuaries and legalizing Okada.
So who is speaking? Who is that?
Huh?
Who is the person speaking?
That's the president making the case.
President Kufuor.
Yes.
Okay, so so it's not John Mahama who's saying that
he will use Zongo development to build mortuary.
No, but the point here is.
No, when you were speaking, the impression I got was that President Mahama
so that is a fund.
He will use Zongo fund to build mortuaries.
Okay, so
that's what I heard you say.
Okay, so the point is that in developing Zongos to build ICT centers and invest in building astroturfs and all of that, he says that is misapplication of funds. But rather, what he will do for the Zongo community is to build mortuaries. Okay, so if ICT and astroturfs for youth to use is bad enough, mortuaries is what he is proposing to build for the people of the Zongo community.
Right.
We talked in 2016, we argued and begged the NDC, please don't cancel nursing and teacher training allowance. They did cancel it. They canceled it. And even the former president went as far as to say that if it were about losing the election, then he would freely lose the election, but he would cancel it all the same. Just in 2020 to come and make a fresh argument that he will continue the nursing and teacher training allowances. So if you are looking for a lie, there's abundance of it to be found in your quarters. But the point we want to have, the debate we want to have here to going forward, Sammy, it's not about a regressive conversation of yesterday over which you have lost an election in 2020. We want to have a progressive conversation. We know as a people that we are in a difficult situation. All the economic conversations you are having, it is your problem fundamentally, the NDC's problem fundamentally, it is the dishonesty, okay, in setting aside the real happening of COVID and Russia-Ukraine. You have decided to have a selective amnesia, you have perceptual selectivity when it comes to the events that have taken place in this country that have resulted directly in the failure or the lack of performance of the economy, which is not only here, but it is global. And I remember, Sabi, because when you were in opposition, and the economy was struggling, for which reason you had to go. Okay. Well, for which you have to go to IMF. You guys were telling us that it's because China was not doing well. That was your justification for why the economy was fostering, why you guys have to go to IMF. Something that is happening in local China has become the cold that has catched our economy in Ghana. But we are talking about a global issue that has affected not only Ghana, but the entire world and the best economies in the world, not only Ghana. But then you conveniently decide to set that aside. And I think that is more or less the most intellectual dishonesty ever perpetuated on any group of people. That is what the NDC is doing. Dr. Bawumia offered a vision. And my invitation to Sami is that let's discuss the vision. Let's put His Excellency, the former president's vision, and vis-a-vis Dr. Bawumia's vision, which in essence, says that he will provide an inclusive leadership to build a country that assures food self-sufficiency, safe, prosperous, and dignified future for all Ghanaians, to create sustainable jobs with meaningful pay for all, and for Ghana to participate in the fourth industrial revolution.
Thank you.
That is the vision. That is the future Ghana is looking forward to. That's the future we must compete for. The NDC must bring its own vision so that we can determine that still they remain in the past, which I think they are. But Ghana, Ghana, most likely on December 7th, will vote for a future that is inclusive, a future that puts Ghana on the map to compete in the fourth industrial revolution.
Yeah,
10 minutes.
Thank you, Doc.
10 minutes.
Richard says that all the things I said are lies, no substance. Yet, as communications director of the NPP, he could not point out one thing I have said on this platform that is a lie.
But see, I'll give you more time.
That speaks volumes of you. You had 10 minutes. You couldn't prove one lie.
But you had one
that
hour,
shows
you couldn't convince anybody.
Please, I didn't heckle you. That shows how empty you are. You always say somebody doesn't have substance. No, he is the one talking about substance. And you are saying everything I've said is a lie. Man of substance, show me one lie I've told. You were given 10 minutes.
Give me your 10 minutes and I'll say.
I told you Bawumia is a liar.
Yes.
I told you the lies he peddled in opposition when he said they were building a harbour at Cape Coast. I listed the lies for you. Show me one that Bawumia didn't say.
Okay.
I told you the lies Bawumia has peddled in his latest speech. From 2 million jobs to they started online passport application to online passport application has eradicated corruption, that they have done more fiber optics than any government. I have gone through the list, a plethora of issues with references and facts. Show me one which is not true. Communications director, you are here speaking grammar. Doc, he asked a question, what is your vision? Is it that they have a hearing problem, or they have deliberately decided to be deaf? You haven't heard John Mahama talk about 24-hour economy. You haven't heard even me talk about 24-hour economy in my conclusion during my first submission on this platform. You haven't heard John Mahama say that under him he will reform the Bank of Ghana and rejuvenate the almost collapsed banking and financial sector, and that he will give opportunity to experienced banking hands who were laid off to secure their careers once more and move from their menial jobs, the menial jobs they were forced into. You haven't heard John Mahama announce that he will complete all abandoned and ongoing projects instead of rushing to start new ones, and that he will carry out an inventory of all hospitals, schools, electrification, water and road projects which have stalled or have been abandoned, and make annual budgetary allocation for completing them. You haven't heard President Mahama speak about the fact that his next government will establish a governance advisory council to help improve political governance, curb corruption, and ensure respect for human rights, and that this council will have representatives from civil society, religious bodies, traditional leaders, the media, and so on. You haven't heard President Mahama speak about the fact that his next government will abolish ex gratia, a promise that Bawumia is doing copycats, trying to play catch-up, copy, no originality. You haven't heard, you don't know that President Mahama originated the idea, he owns it, and Bawumia cannot steal it. You don't know that President Mahama spoke of completing the constitution review process that we started long before your copy vice president, who is playing catch-up, decided to steal it. You don't know, and you are asking me to educate you on John Mahama's vision. You don't know that John Mahama has indicated that his government will set up a value for money unit where this independent value for money unit will be responsible for scrutinizing any government procurement above $5 billion as part of his fight against corruption. You haven't heard President Mahama say that he will set up a commission of inquiry to investigate the matter of looted state lands. You haven't heard President Mahama say that under him we will not collateralize any statutory fund for a loan. You haven't heard President Mahama say that he's going to review our tax exemption regime and ensure that exemptions are beneficial to the country. You haven't heard President Mahama say that he will review the laws governing the extractive sector with the aim of increasing Ghana's stake in our natural resources. You haven't heard President Mahama speaking about bringing back TOR and VALCO on stream to play their role in this economy. You haven't heard him talk about the modernization of agriculture, setting up of farmer centers, farming service centers and farmer cooperatives, supporting these farmers with implements, with tractors and so on. You haven't heard him talk about establishing factories in every region based on their comparative advantage, and that the people of the Bono region will get cashew processing factories, cocoa growing regions will get cocoa processing factories, the tomato processing regions will get tomato processing factories. You haven't heard that? So it is either you have chosen to be deaf by choice, or you have a hearing problem. Maybe. And I can go on and on and on and on. He has said he will pay assembly members allowances. He said he will pay 20% allowance to rural teachers. He has said he will complete the Tamale Dam irrigation project. He will improve the implementation of free SHS, which Bawumia has repeated, improve free SHS. So he acknowledges that free SHS has to be improved. Doc, the list is endless.
It's in the IMF document.
The vision has been outlined. And John Mahama just doesn't promise. His record is there in every sector. Tangible, visible. His economic record is there, unassailable. Bawumia comes nowhere close. I have told you, show me one economic matrix John Mahama bequeathed to you which is better today than it was. One.
Okay,
let
me show it to you.
Now, Doc, Richard, who claims to be truthful, now says that we should, even before I get it, says we should discuss Bawumia's vision. Who has time to discuss Bawumia's vision? Before we discuss his vision, he should move us from taxation to production and arrest the dollar and bring it to 4 cities. Then we can take him serious and discuss his vision. All the things you said, you are flattered to deceive on all of them. You have scammed us on all the things you said. You want us to discuss what vision? What vision? These latest scams? And Doc, conspicuously missing in his speech was the issue of LGBTQ. Dr. Bawumia decides to outline his vision, 79 pages, speaks about everything he would do, everything he has in the so-called vision. And he doesn't say a word about LGBTQ. A man who we are told is a Muslim.
He probably doesn't find it.
Oh, really? So he supports it.
It's a given.
That is very instructive. Now, Doc,
his position is...
Richard, again, lies. He says that when we were against NHIS, and we flip-flop on it, and your mama promised
there was a walkout,
and you are communications director, check your facts. John Mahama's manifesto 2012, there was no one-time premium. One-time premium was a 2008 thing.
Yeah.
Number two, NHIS, I have read the facts on this very show. You couldn't disprove it. What Kufuor introduced was a mutual NHIS, a mutual health insurance scheme. District level, not portable, and so on. We know it. Before that, we had piloted it. I read all the publications here, and you, the MPP, rather kicked against it, led by Adu Kufuor, your ranking for health, in 1999 and in 2000, when we were introducing health insurance. When we came, we passed the National Health Insurance Scheme Act. Richard, you don't know this. You don't know that the current law governing national health insurance, the reason why we have national health insurance is because there is a law called National Health Insurance Act 2012, Act 852, signed by John Mahama, and that is what has made health insurance national in Ghana, established the institution, their offices. You don't know that all that is the handiwork and the record of John Mahama?
Well, we're talking about the foundation of the idea.
Another lie. Thank God you exposed him. If it was on my FM, he would have gone scot-free.
No.
He lied and you exposed him.
Sammy.
But it is fair to John Mahama to sit here, communication director, and lie through your teeth. No, I take a serious exception to it.
Listen to me.
I know he's your friend, but let me deal with it with all seriousness.
Just listen to me for a second.
Yes.
I am taking exception to you introducing another media house.
Okay. That part. I'm sorry for that.
Yeah.
But if it was one of those stations, you know them, he would have gotten away. But thank God, Dr. Randiabe is here. You sat here lying through your teeth that John Mahama said he will convert Zongo Development Fund and use it to build mortuaries.
Yeah, so
when you were asked for evidence, you had no proof. It's a lie. He's never said it anywhere. But you are just quoting something Akufo-Addo said on a political platform.
But is it false? Is it false that he said you build mortuaries?
Don't learn from Bawumia. Don't learn. Is it how you have been exposed? It's false. John Mahama never said anywhere that he will convert Zongo Development Fund and use the money for mortuaries. You lied.
The fund allocated
just
for
like
that
you came here and lied that John Mahama's office accommodation was being paid by the government. And we told you to bring the documents and you said you will bring it till date. You've not brought it. Today you have the effrontery to come and sit here and lie again.
Well, yes, the
look.
Sammy, you have 1 minute. Sammy,
I have 1 minute more.
1 minute.
Then the flimsy and useless excuses they continue to rehash. COVID-19 and then COVID-19. Doc.
The guy is not serious.
Once again, we will remind them that Ghana was not the only country that suffered from COVID-19. So how come that only us, we have defaulted on our debts? And our economy is jumped. Yeah, man, 10 minutes. One minute. You see, so we're not the only country. So how come that only us, our economy has collapsed? How come? The reason is that even before COVID, the economy had collapsed. The World Bank country director said it, Mr. Laporte. The story is there. Ghana's economy showed serious signs of challenges before COVID. COVID only aggravated it. You know that. And COVID has given you $6 billion, 3 times more than what you needed to fight COVID. So you can't blame COVID. You needed 12 billion to fight COVID. You've got in excess of 30 billion cedis. Instead, you shared the money like both fruits to your party supporters through Momo, through digitalization. You use digitalization to steal our COVID money. According to Felicia Tete, your parliamentary candidate for Sagnerigu, she got 2 billion old Ghana cedis COVID money. And Doc, in any case, 2 logical questions and I land. If COVID-19 is the reason for our economic mess, the economic woes we are going through, how come that MPP parliamentary members of parliament came together and said Ken Ofori-Atta must go? And the main reason why they said Ken Ofori-Atta, the finance minister, must go is that he has mismanaged the economy. Have you thought about that? If the problem is not a mismanagement problem, and it is wholly attributable to exogenous factor, as if the management of an economy does not include external factors.
Maybe they were convinced that he wasn't listening to Dr. Bawumia.
No, but they say it is COVID-19. So why blame Ken Ofori-Atta and say Ken must go? What it means is that in their closets, in their conscience, they know that the problem is a mismanagement problem caused under the supervision of Bawumia. Right. You know, last logical question. Then my 1 minute ends. Last logical question. Randy, if the problem we are going through, the problems we are going through, is not attributable to mismanagement, why is Bawumia stigmatizing Akufo-Addo? Why has he ostracized Akufo-Addo?
How has he done that?
Why has he decided to pay this man who has been so good to him with evil? Did you see the Facebook post of Eugene Ahe yesterday? Akufo-Addo spokesperson.
What did he post?
He was saying posterity, posterity, posterity. How can a man be so good to you, pick you from a place of oblivion, bring you to prominence, give you the opportunity to serve? Bawumia is distancing himself from the economic destruction he has caused. Listen. He is distancing himself from the economic destruction because he knows it's a mismanagement problem. So if I don't distance myself, I will be blamed. If it was only solely attributable to external factors, why will he distance himself? But I want to say that the Akufo-Addo and Bawumia are Siamese twins. Aki and Popo, Jack Toronto and his kid brother. They are inseparable. Okay. So no matter what Bawumia does,
what do you want to say?
So long as Bawumia seeks to profit from this government, so long as Bawumia takes credit for achievements of this government, and so long as he has been the chairman of the economic management team for 7 years, we won't treat him as an opposition leader in government. He is solely responsible. Even if we take everything he's saying about the EMT being an advisory role, an advisory body, even if it's not true, even if we take that,
we're done.
Even if we take that, he is a member of cabinet. He has chaired cabinet on many occasions. He is responsible for all the bad policies. He has proven to be totally useless as a vice president. He has destroyed the economy. He's a liar. He has no credibility. He has no vision. We don't even have to discuss any vision he brings out. He has nothing to say. Because you gave him 10 minutes,
what do you want
and
to
he could not tell you one lie I have told. What can the man say? All he can do is to
Richie, what do you want to say?
You have been communications director.
Yes, what do you want
and when you come on TV, all you do is to laugh.
Can you stop?
I have told you lies, Bawumia.
Defend him. You're saying funny things.
Show me one lie.
Yes, okay,
I have said Bawumia peddled. And tell me, I am communications director of the MPP. These are the documents. Bawumia didn't lie. We started online passport.
Richie, what do you want to say?
I'm daring you.
Okay, two things.
Your communicators are listening to you.
Yes, no problem. Two things.
Quickly.
Two things.
Yes, quickly.
Let's set this date up for next week.
Okay.
But one lie.
Next week.
No.
The same way you gave a lie against President Muhammad that you were paying his office bills. He won't even come.
He'll come.
You don't know this man.
He'll come.
He won't even come.
No, the past 3 weeks I've been here. You are the one who are coming.
Airtime.
He'll come.
If you want, even tomorrow, I will buy airtime.
The
past 3 weeks I will show me
one claim I have made here, which is a lie.
The second one is what?
Communication director, I am out of time. Show what is a lie.
The second one is what?
The second one, so you need to regulate it. The second one is he says that he's mentioned a lot of things that I say they are lies, but I haven't disproved one.
Yes.
He talked about the passport, the e-passport, not having solved corruption. Okay, but he did. The comment of the minister is not related to anything that suggests that what the vice president is saying is like. When you look at the numbers before the e-passport implementation, okay, the revenues. Wait. Nobody knew what you say you done on the last page. Nobody knew.
So you can't read.
But the point. No, please stop. Please stop.
Please what?
Stop.
You please what?
Stop.
Nobody will allow you to lie.
To you. Please.
How can you say that online passport application has eradicated corruption? And yet your minister for foreign affairs says corruption is on the rise there.
You need to remind him. He can't shout more than I can.
Who is unruly here?
You have been unruly. Let me answer the question.
Why do you? I won't allow him to talk.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Asking him.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? We were giving 10 minutes.
What do you mean?
Why do you allow me to talk? 10 minutes to lie again.
So you're saying that
If you want this show to be governable, we'll make it be governable.
I'm asking you a question you don't want to answer.
I will answer.
So
but
just
you
listen
need
to
to
me.
regulate.
When I was talking, did you
Okay, please, yeah.
You're saying that revenues...
Yes, revenue improved following that implementation. Before that, I think I forgot the year, but following the implementation.
Yes.
Before the implementation, they made about 11. Oh, please. They made about 11.8 million.
Yes.
A year after that strict implementation, the revenue shot up to 94 million.
Look at the paucity of this logic. Look at the paucity of this logic.
Fees and number of
going up. So when revenue goes up,
it has
that corruption is being
it has
forced.
everything.
Look at the paucity of this logic.
That
That when revenue goes up at the Ghana Passport Office,
to
it
do
means that you are
with
fighting
revenue and the leakages associated with it.
Look at this.
You understand? It has everything to do with
I guess you made a point.
Yes.
You made a point. Thank you.
No, I'm serious.
So
You need to regulate something.
No, you up next, Metro Sports.
The question that you have to ask is, how can global phenomena skip Cote d'Ivoire and all the surrounding countries and only attack Ghana? How? How? The question that you have to ask is, how can global phenomena skip Cote d'Ivoire and all the surrounding countries and only attack Ghana? How? How? How does it happen?
Ghana is brought to you by
MTN.